Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Higurashi. We've been pulled out of the meeting room for a fairly serious discussion, it seems, involving our teacher and Mion. Let's see what's going on. Alright, you need to talk to us, my brother? Well, that doesn't sound good. Are you going to the Child Consultation Center again tomorrow? Yep. We'll keep fighting until they save Satoko. That's our mission. I don't know if we'll get as many supporters as we did today, but we're going back there again. Right, Mion? My Barakud, we've already made plans for tomorrow, but after that, I think you should wait and see what they do. Thanks to the advice from Ueshiya-san last night, I already had an idea of the situation. Is this a warning, Chie-sensei? If our protest grows any bigger, the village officials will have to take notice of it. That's what you're telling me to quit now, right? My bar, I think what you're doing is a good thing. You're not wrong to pursue the things you believe in, but... She stopped talking about after that. Chie was supporting us until just yesterday. She even came to the center with us on the second day, so for her to start saying completely the opposite, I felt dizzy from the shock of it. Okay, Chie, let me explain instead. Chie-sensei still supports us as an individual. However, well... Is she being pressured by the board or something? It's more like I think most people don't want to spend their entire day protesting every single day, and don't think it's valuable enough to do that. That's probably what the issue is. It's like getting people to protest like once or twice is probably doable, but every single day is really hard unless it's really important to a lot of people. And like one person, I mean, as important as Satoko is, she probably doesn't mean that much to everybody. It's only like her close friends that really, really care. Chie-sensei would never bow to pressure. You have no idea how courageous she is. She ignored the Board of Education and came to this village when the Hanami saw a branch school, but still not approved by the government. I think Mion told me that story once before. The school was closed when the damn conflict happened. However, the village children still came to school to learn. There were no teachers, though, because the school wasn't officially operating, and that was when Chie-sensei arrived. After they won the damn conflict, the Sonozaki family and other villagers made an appeal and the school's existence was finally approved. Our school didn't have an easy start. The government was against it, but the villagers forced them to approve. Chie-sensei came along with us on our appeal yesterday. It was very courageous of her, but now people who want to close the school are paying close attention to what we're doing. That's basically it. Chie can't support us openly anymore. She stared at the ground as Mion spoke. I'd never seen her look so sad. If it was just me, I wouldn't care about what happened. I don't want to be a teacher who can't fight for her own students, but I can't put the whole school in jeopardy. I don't know who told her this. Whoever it was, they warned her not to escalate things around Satoko's case. They threatened the existence of our school to make her obey and pressured her with the responsibility she couldn't take on her own. Is this the fun times of Oryu? You know, yesterday she told me something similar. In this exact spot, too. He warned me if I kept escalating, I'd be fighting against the elders who still don't like the Hojos. Or something like that. He told you that? Well, he's not really wrong. Mion looked at the ground along with Chie. I always thought Chie-sensei and Mion were stronger people. So seeing them both hang their heads like, this is hopeless, made me feel like we're being pushed into a dead end. And I hated it. You're just at the Child Consultation Center with... You told everyone to come again tomorrow. That's the Mion I came to the meeting with. When did she get swapped with this weak Mion? Yeah, this weak-ass Mion. What the hell happened? When I said, when did she get swapped, I immediately thought of one thing. The mayor took her outside the building earlier, did he? I see. He called you out here to talk about this, didn't he? Well, kind of. It felt painful to see her fake a smile like that. She was only out here with him for about 10 minutes. The hell did he tell her that crushed her spirit? Mion, Chie. The two of you are the strongest people I know, and I respect you a lot. I can't even imagine what kind of pressure would cause you to change your opinions overnight. I didn't feel like getting mad at them. They were just as passionate about saving Satoko as I was. Towards them, I felt nothing but pity. I don't know what to say. You don't need to apologize. I could feel an angry tone entering my voice. I mean, they bitched out for what? Probably because Mion worships Oryu's feet. Tell me something. Why do the old people in the village still hate them? The damn conflict's over. Satoko's innocent, isn't she? And why do they hate her? Who hates her? Whose fault is this? I'm gonna have a chat with whoever it is. I don't think anyone actually hates the Hojo family. What? What are you saying? It's true the Hojo family was the enemy during the dam conflict. The whole village believed that, but after Satoko's parents died, people thought she was innocent. No one ever came forward to forgive her? I can explain why. Oh, Shion, hello. It wasn't just Shion who appeared. Reina and Rika were there with her. They'd come out to check on me and overheard what we were talking about. After uniting to turn the Hojo family into their scapegoat, the village is still living in fear, but not because they're scared of them. They're living in the fear that if they end up connected to the Hojos, they'll be made a scapegoat by the village too. In other words, if you help the Hojos, you get attacked by the village like they did. They still feel that way after years of the conflict. Is that true? Everyone was always nice to Satoko at school. Only the old people are involved in this. However, they're the core of the village. They'll believe the leader of the Sonozaki family, my granny, still hates the Hojos. That's not true. It totally is. Granny's also afraid. She thinks if she forgives them, the other elderlies will lose trust in her. So, who am I supposed to punch in the face? Or you? The truth is, no one really hates the Hojos. They all think we should forgive them, but they can't come forward with that opinion. They're convinced everyone else still hates the Hojos. So, everyone's misunderstanding each other? That's right. You can ask all of them individually. You'll see no one really hates Satoko. Her parents' death marked the end of that hatred, and after her parents died, my grandma told everyone not to bother the Hojos anymore. However, she didn't tell people to forgive them. Probably because of my father. Rika's father? Really? Why's that? My father was so laid back that people started saying he didn't deserve to be a leader anymore. Rika's dad was a very relaxed guy. I think that helped him calmly resolve things, but at the time, people who were burning with anger about the project were looking for a more aggressive leader. So, my granny came forward and acted as one to unite the village. And because of her role as an aggressive leader, she can't announce she's going to forgive the Hojos. Yeah. Old people put a lot of stock into not changing their minds. She can't reverse her policy. It's terrible. People are refusing to forgive Satoko and blame it on everyone else. Because Oryu sucks. They can't forgive her because they're afraid of what other people might think. That's awful. Well, when you consider that when you consider that her Satoko's parents were probably assassinated, that's pretty iffy. It's not completely unreasonable to be like, yeah, I'd rather not be murdered by the villagers, so I'm gonna I don't want to be murdered by Oryu's assassins, so I'm just gonna not touch those Hojos people. That seems reasonable, right? Since Oryu claims credits for acknowledges and claims credits for all the murders, so if you're gonna claim credit for all the murders, you gotta deal with the fallout of that, and that is nobody wants to speak up to you, because you're also Yakuza. During the dam project, a few households actually thought it was fine to vacate their homes since they're getting compensation from the government. They couldn't say that out loud. The Hojos, however, came forward with their opinion and announced they were willing to vacate. Those households gained courage after seeing the Hojos, and they almost established a group who agreed to leave. I'm sure you understand this after today, but in order to effectively protest something, everyone has to have the same opinion, and it's important the whole village is on the same page. Before the dam conflict, Hinamisawa was tearing itself apart instead of waging war. I said because my father was such a lazy leader. He never thought they'd actually build the dam. I thought we could reach a peaceful resolution by negotiating. People thought it was wise some families started agreeing to leave. Supporters of the plan to evacuate? That sounds strange. The first I've heard of that. People in the village always said they supported the dam project. She's right. They usually claim their enemies support the project itself. Sounds worse if you call them dam project supporters, than if you call them evacuation supporters, isn't it? If you call them evacuation supporters, it makes it sound like they're peaceful people who don't want to fight. But calling them dam supporters makes it sound, I see, like a group of bad people trying to submerge the village. It's all about appearances. Coach appeared. Hello, Coach! He came outside after noticing how long we'd been gone. The village was brimming with a sense of unity. Mr. Furude was not able to unite the village, and the Sonozakis figured they'd seize power if they were to take charge of that unity. It's hard to understand now, but let's phrase it a different way. In order to unite them, they attacked the Hojos, who betrayed their sense of community, and they used them to intimidate other people. Yep. People became afraid of the Hojos? They changed their minds and started protesting the dam project. They held that if you interact with the Hojos, you're probably supporting the dam project yourself. That's why everyone kept their distance from them. They acted like they didn't see them. When someone from the family talked to them, they ignored it. Initially, they targeted only Satoko's parents, but eventually the whole family was a target, and as a result, her aunt and uncle were caught in the line of fire too. Kind of ironic. That was the reason they started abusing Satoko to begin with. Her aunt and uncle were not in support of the project, but because of Satoko's parents, they were attacked. And after they died, they were forced to take care of their 2 children. Well, it finally makes sense. I can see the whole picture. The village is filled with shitty people. The conflict is over. Satoko's parents are dead. I think the family should speak out and forgive them. Once again, that's an issue. Granny's afraid the elderly people will lose their trust in her if she forgives the Hojos. And she needs the entire village to be her slaves. It's like the Sonosaki family's worried about people taking them lightly as the consultation center is. I heard this directly from her, so I'm sure that's what's happening. All she could do is tell everyone not to bother them. When she dies, she wants the next family head to declare the end of the conflict and stop discriminating against the Hojos. My mom knows about this too. I heard about it from her, actually. It's just the old hag's stubborn pride. Let me ask you this. It sounds to me like the mayor and his people threatened me on and told Chia-sensei they'd close the school. How about that? Do they still have bitter feelings toward the Hojos? Oh, it's ridiculous. Even Uncle Kimiyoshi thinks no one in the village hates the Hojos. It's sad that the dam conflict hasn't ended for those people. I mean, clearly someone's making threats. Which means they're actively encouraging it. They're still afraid of being badmouthed behind their backs if they interact with the Hojos. But people like you and Rika interact with her. I'm young and have no ties to the town council. Plus, Rika's special. She's the reincarnation of Oyashiro. Oh, that's fair. Oyashiro's the one who brought humans and demons together, which means she's able to live with Satoko even though Satoko's not accepted by villagers. After hearing this, I understand how difficult it was for Satoko to live in this village. She always acted bright and cheerful at school and in the club, but everyone fucking hates her. I also thought that was her world. I had no idea how she felt when she was walking around alone in the village. She probably went grocery shopping knowing people were going to ignore her. She felt the coldness from them, but she was standing strong on her feet. I had no idea she was going through something like that. I mean, I knew she went through tough times during the dam conflict, but I had no clue she was struggling to this day. Sad story. And the whole thing is just nonsense, too. Do you feel that way too, Reina? I feel the same. No one feels bitter towards Satoko, but everyone's afraid something bad will happen to them if they interact with her. Whose fault's this? No one's? The land or society making them think that way? It's no one's fault, yet they're worried about everyone else's opinions they can't forgive her, right? I mean, again, Oryu claims that she's like fucking killing people and kidnapping government officials on demand to accomplish her goals, making people terrified to do anything about her. But they're not so terrified that they'll try to murder her or flee the city. It's more like they just live in a world of perpetual terror. The only person who'd support them is like Keiichi's parents. I think Keiichi's parents have like no ties to the village. Yeah, that kind of atmosphere is great when the wind's blowing in a good direction. People would act kindly and help each other. But the case of the Hojo family is totally the opposite. It's spreading like a mold, and no one can do anything about it. What do you do with a rotten tatami mat? You gotta toss it out and get a new one. The mayor's pressuring us, not because he hates Satoko, but because he thinks if he lets us run free, someone who doesn't exist might talk badly about him. That's why he can't leave us be? Yeah. Again. I call it someone the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Everyone's afraid of that someone, even though he doesn't exist. That someone doesn't exist, and they're not a real person. Shion's theory sounds interesting. Everyone follows the rules because they're afraid of that someone. However, even the leaders of the village are afraid of the same thing. Everyone follows the rules because they're afraid of someone who doesn't exist. They follow the rules of the conflict, thinking they'll be cursed if they forgive her. And who is that someone? They can only call it the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro cursed the Hojos because they supported the project? Okay. They believe that, and Satoko is struggling because of it. Okay. Shiro won't curse Satoko. She thinks Satoko's adorable. Please don't use her name for something horrible like that. Rika made a sad face. She's the shrine maiden for Oyashiro-sama and the reincarnation of Oyashiro. I don't think there's a curse in the village at all, but everyone's convinced there is. And if that's the case, this isn't the center's fault at all. The whole village bears responsibility. Well, I guess it's time to cave in some skulls? What chapter is it? Is it time to cave in skulls yet? I think so too. I thought appealing to the center would solve the problem. That's not going to do anything. A rotten tatami mat, eh? Well, we can't just clean the surface. Even if the center does save Satoko, that's nothing but a temporary fix. I guess we need to throw away the whole mat. So how do we... If we accuse the entire village of being corrupt, how do we solve that? After all, you don't typically solve corruption by asking people to stop being corrupt nicely. And I mean, a lot of super corrupt people are like multi-millionaires, so it's not like they need the fucking money. Like, have you seen how much members of the American Congress fucking make? Before the bribes? They're making like they're like making like mid 6 digits. Like, come on, they're fine. They're fucking fine. Mid 6 digits. Guaranteed retirement plans. They're fucking set, man. Alright, so we need to throw a rotten tatami mat. I think those mats are assembled nearby. I agree, most are within a 20-meter radius of here. Hey, Keiichi, what are you guys gonna do? Mia, you're involved in the village. I know you feel hesitant to save Satoko, and I understand why you and Chie almost gave up under pressure, but I got nothing to lose. Maibara, are you really going right here? I'm gonna get rid of that rotten tatami mat. Join me, Reina? I mean, it's perfect. They're all inside this building. We can burn it down, lock the doors, and if they all die, boom. Purged half the village. Yes. I'm tougher than you think. Unfortunately, they're not going to do that because they're not in that mindset, but that would be a nice answer. I know. You should settle down a little bit. I feel like you could blow up a school if you got too serious. I think you'd beat up someone with a metal pad if you got too serious. Well, we're both pretty tough, right? Let's go. That's good. I understand your position, Mion. You don't have to come with me. Just leave if you think things are going to get out of hand. This is a little more dangerous than a club activity. I'm serious about this. As the next head of her family, she shouldn't agree with me, but she stared in silent approval of what I was going to do.
Hello there.
Hello there. General Kenobi. Alright, is he going to take that risk? I'm coming with you too. Well, that's the way. Just watch how I take care of this. What about you, Shi-chan? Oh, fortunately, I have nothing to lose. I'll support you guys. I mean, she could lose her fingers or her life. She's already lost the nails, right? She is Sensei, principal. I understand your stance. We're not in school right now. Please forgive what I'm about to do. Right, I'm not your teacher right now. The principal and I will entrust our will to you. I'm supporting you guys too. If they want me out of the village, I'm willing to close down my clinic. It's only natural for Master to sacrifice everything to save his future mate. I can feel the power flowing into me. He's charging up. He's getting that spirit bomb ready. I don't know what he's going to do with it. But someone will inevitably be defeated. I'm not even going to try cooling down. I need to be fired up for something like this. Alright, as I turned back, I noticed Uishi and my dad. I didn't know how long they'd been standing there. You seem excited about something, Maibara. Uishi, you told me last night. There's some things a man can't give up on. Well, we gotta take a chance even when it's risky. Keiichi, don't stop me, Dad. I know it's important to be polite, but I need to do this for my friend. Oh, I'm not gonna stop you. Huh? He gave me a smile. I'd never seen him smile like that before. I believe in what you just told Uishi. There are some things a man shouldn't give up on. You'll encounter something like that in your life sooner or later. If this is that time, well, I'm not gonna stop you. His father is so cool. Of course, he's my dad. He's at least half as cool as me. I'm not from Hinamizawa. I can't take either side, but I'll be watching you closely, Maibara. When it's make or break the game, take the risk and discard for the middle. Wait, it's something my old friend used to say. You can't compromise once you made a decision. If you're gonna forfeit, do so immediately, but if you're gonna fight, be confident in yourself. Mahjong uses double scoring after all. Even if you get a small amount of points several times, you'll lose if someone scores a lot of points at once. You just gotta be confident when you're ready to fight. Do you play Mahjong too, my bar? They start talking about Mahjong together. Well, this is gonna be interesting. Someone from the committee came out and told us to come inside for the meeting. It was time to begin. Alright, let's go inside. I feel like we're finally getting up on stage. No wonder we felt something was missing at this end. Yep. This is supposed to be the stage all along. We were fighting with the wrong people for the last 3 days. Let's go. Can we save Satoko in this chapter? Someone pulled my shirt. It was Rika. Keiichi? You're not only Satoko's best friend, but you're also a member of the village's 3 family. You can just watch what Reina and I are gonna do, but if you're willing to help us save Satoko, I want you to support us. You're gonna try and change those hard-headed men? I'll change them. I told you before, fate's thinner than a piece of paper. I'll tear it down with ease. Alright, Keiichi, let's see it. What's gonna happen? They're calling the traditions of the village. They're calling the traditions of the village the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Shion still sure has an interesting theory. Is Keiichi gonna smash it in two? Can you destroy the curse of Oyashiro? He'll break it. Keiichi's got the power to break everything. He's a very destructive fellow. It's not just Keiichi's power though. Because everyone's working together, Keiichi's able to break anything. This energy, it's more powerful than the lucky 6 on the die. We might even get a 7 on a d6. It's not luck, he's destroying fate with his own 2 hands. Everyone followed Keiichi and entered the assembly hall. Oh, nice. Finish the shop? Nice. I closed in after them. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this with Keiichi. If it doesn't work out, that's it for me. I'll give it my best. I mean, if we had a rewind on this, I'd say we could probably push for even better. If we reached, it's like we've reached a new pinnacle that may not be possible. If we get we didn't think was possible previously. If we get a similar setup, we can probably push even further, because now we'd be pushing too, right? That would be my rationale, at least. Well, I guess we're not saving her in this chapter. Alright, civil servant prep. Like think about it. Like, you know, you didn't believe it was... She didn't believe it was possible to get this close, or even make this kind of progress on the Satoko quest. If she has to revert, surely her thought would be, I've made so much new progress. If I can get a new setup like that, if I get a new setup like this next time, I can probably do better. That would be my rationale. I mean, I know she's been doing this like 100 times, but I think that's how I'd like try to view it. I'd be like, well, we made new progress. I don't think I can do it again, but if I somehow get a setup like this, like last time, this might work. Of course, then you get depressed because you don't get the same setup, but you know. Like, you know, in theory, if you get the same setup, you could do at least as good, right? Alright. We're good as long as we know the town council and the Onoguchi guardians aren't involved. Please take care of Satoko Hojo's case without worrying about it too much. I will. I'm glad to know the village isn't backing them. I wouldn't agree with them if they were, though. No matter who's pulling the strings, you must treat every case equally. This whole odd rule we have to give Hinamizawa special treatment. It's only due to the precedent set when we let threats influence us before. Well, you're right, sir, but continue to work on this case. The manager from the municipal government assured us the town council has nothing to do with this petition. It's a problem our organization is so afraid of one tiny community. As a manager, you should think about that a little. Sorry, no, I'm glad to hear that the village isn't supporting them. You must act the same way even if the village does support them, no matter who's behind the scenes. Be careful with Satoko Hojo's case. Don't try to give her any special treatment, you understand? The manager is like obsessed with not giving her special treatment. Interesting. Like, take months to do this. It's like they're telling you like someone's gonna die, and it's like, well, we take our time here. We're not gonna give anyone special treatment unless it's urgent. It's urgent? No special treatment for you. Alright. Interesting decision on their parts. Let's see how it works. Into the next chapter. Excuse me, I have something to say before the meeting starts. They all knew immediately I was going to say something about Satoko. I guess they weren't just old for show. Oh, Keiichi. Today's our final meeting before the festival. Can you bring up your personal issues later? I ignored him. Continued talking. If you have something to say, tell me directly. Don't go through Mion or Chie-sensei. I don't like it when people are so indirect. So let's talk face to face. Everyone got quiet. Nobody here wanted to be involved in a conversation about the Hojo family. Everyone here knows Satoko Hojo is practically being confined by her uncle and suffering at his hands. But I don't care that you're not proactive about helping her. I'm sure some of you don't want any trouble. But we're different. Satoko's our friend. We're fighting as hard as we can to save our friend from danger. However, Keiichi, we're aware of that. All we're saying is you've done enough at the consultation center by now. Is there a problem if we continue our appeal? Of course, it's a big problem too. Someone with a stern voice spoke out to me. I gotten under their skin. Oh, what's the problem? Can you explain it so a child like me can understand? The conflict ended ages ago. The age of banding together and storming public offices is over. The subject wasn't even Satoko. All they had to offer were excuses. Oh, I'm not asking about your past. The conflict has nothing to do with this. This is my war, so if you're not going to partake in it, well, let's make it clear. You're my enemy or my ally. Which is it? Are you my allies or enemies? Listen to the things that come out of this boy's mouth. Young people these days don't know how to be polite. The whole room lit up and started filling with the scent of gunpowder. However, none of my allies let themselves get swept up in the commotion and maintained their harsh stares. The expressions made me feel as though I had a million supporters behind me. I was standing in front only as their representative. It wasn't my fight alone. This was everyone's fight. Because of that realization, the fierce looks the old people were giving me didn't intimidate me at all. Keiichi, it's not about us being your enemy or not. Our village fought with these officials during the dam conflict. However, I do understand this has nothing to do with it. The dam conflict is a thing of the past. Oh, I don't care what you thought about that. I'm talking about me, my friends, and Satoko. I didn't ask about the dam conflict. Ever thought of getting your ears checked, old man? How can you talk to your elders like that? You disrespectful brat. I'd like to have a word with your parents. My dad, standing behind me, gave an apologetic and bitter smile. He's like, well, sorry, I'm right here. Pardon me, I'm his father, you see. You're his father? How could you raise him like this? Well, I guess I'm not a good parent. I'm not sure if I raised Keiichi the way I was supposed to. My dad paused. In the next moment, his expression changed to a glare. However, a single man known as Keiichi Maibara is standing here before all these faces to voice his appeal that something about this doesn't make sense. I don't really care if he's my son or not. He's just making his assertion as a man, so I don't really think there's a reason to be talking to me here. Silence filled the room as the old people sat there with their mouths agape. Ueshi broke the silence with laughter. You got plenty of pride, don't you? My name is Reina Ryuku. Can I ask something? I don't understand the logic of how the conflict being over becomes the reason we shouldn't make an appeal to the Child Consultation Center. Would you explain that to us in detail? Reina's voice remained perfectly level, as though the matter didn't concern her. However, I could see the fury in her eyes. I was probably the only person who noticed it. And the old people seemed like they'd rather deal with her than me. Well, Reina-chan, the village has no reason to fight with the government now that the conflict's over. During that time, we did fight them, but after the conflict was over, it's water under the bridge. Our village re-established relations with them. Hinamizawa is not an individual country. We're just a small village in Japan. The government's taking care of us. That's why we need to try and get along with them. You're right. It's important for a village to have good relations with the government. Listen to Reina. She understands us, at least. And my bar boys gotta learn from her. I heard bits and pieces of noise from the crowd. Yeah, it's definitely true. Hinamizawa's been trying to fix this relationship with the government ever since the conflict ended. Exactly, like Mion. The old men cheered. Whoever Shion was next to open her mouth. That's why the town council and government officials are best friends now. In fact, the two officials always come along on the town council's annual hot spring trip. They get paid to participate too. The trip itself is mostly paid for with taxpayers' money, isn't it? Oh, I know so many other things. Like the donations for the New Year and end-of-year parties, as well as the vast financial aid the town council receives for festivities. The upcoming Watanagashi is one of the government's putting millions of yen into subsidies and aid. They're the ones who pretty much pay for the whole festival. Ever since the conflict ended, the festival's been getting bigger and bigger. That's because we're receiving money from government officials. So if we get in trouble with them, we may not be able to hold the festival next year. And that's why Hinamizawa keeps kissing their asses. Isn't that right, Uncle? Shion, how do you know that? Shion being smart. I switch places with my sister sometimes. Oh, that's a ridiculous story. I still don't understand why you're against what we're trying to do. Reina, sum it up for me. What are they saying? Well, basically they're colluding with the government officials, so they can't risk upsetting them. The whole room went into a panic after Reina summed it up so simply. Some of them were ashamed we hit the nail on the head. Some of them were enraged by our ignorance. And some of them were simply angry about our disrespectful attitudes. All of them combined to throw the room into a chaos of chattering and stomping. Quiet, quiet! They all settled down, and for Kiyoshi raised his voice. By the time they quieted, the mayor had a terrible look on his face. H, the relationship between the town council and government has nothing to do with this. You're just sidestepping the issue yourself. There's no point in mixing the two together. Listen, we won our battle against the project. We're all labeled as a nest of troublemakers. And yes, we were taking advantage of that image during the conflict. However, now that the conflict's over, the image is working against us badly. We need to try and repair it. Otherwise, this village will have no future. Do you understand? It's not just about your enemy. Being your enemy, it's much deeper than that. In other words, you're saying, if K-chan rouses people to action, the friendly atmosphere we develop will be ruined. Old people nodded as Mion spoke. They were assuming Mion was on their side. Michan, what do you mean by friendly atmosphere? Does that mean we shouldn't seek help for a poor innocent girl who's being abused? They're trying to say the child consultation center is doing their job already, so they want us to stop interfering. Given their position, the officials can't say, leave us alone that strongly. But they're asking the village to deal with the matter for them since they're granting a lot of subsidies. Oh, so you're saying is the council's the government's lapdog. Hey, what were you saying? Be a little more respectful, why don't you? Oh, why don't you watch what you're saying? I mean, I hope you're not refusing to help her just because she's the daughter of the Hojos. That's not it. We're not saying anything about Satoko. We're just telling you to take a look at the bigger picture and show some restraint. The Child Consultation Center isn't ignoring you. I'm sure they've taken your protest into account. As I recall, I believe their protests amount to a single note of X people visited asking for this. That doesn't actually get forwarded to the person taking care of the case. Although, since they showed up with like 100 people, that one was noticed and the person is concerned. This old man looks like someone from the Ugly Bastard tag. The main character from Yubi? No, I don't think so. So, here's how I know he's not a Yubi. He's not overweight. Look at his stomach. He looks like your average 60-year-old man. He's balding, gray hair, skinny, but he's not 500 pounds. Ugly bastard, not fat bastard. I don't know. They mix them around a lot. They mix the two up a lot. He's definitely not overweight enough. As it is now, this is just the old age tag. I think what do they call it? A mature? Yeah, that's what we're going with. They already understand your point. We're just saying you're carrying this way too far. Hey, Chikun, I just saw something really interesting. See, look at what's in the picture frame over there. Reina pointed at the wall, and everyone followed the direction of her finger. There were many different picture frames all over the walls of the assembly hall. They mostly had to do with the conflict and were usually about glorifying the Guardians. Reina was pointing at a framed article. Kiyoshi wrote it way back when he was leader of the Guardians during the dam conflict. Oh, look at the middle portion there. We attempted peaceful negotiation, but the government and their marionette, the president of the electric company, declined. They trampled on our villagers' democratic movement and our native land with indescribable atrocities. Me? That's what Kiyoshi wrote for the dam conflict memorial. He wrote the same thing on the monument, too. Everyone knew why Reina brought that up. I could hear them all gulping. They attempted to negotiate peacefully with the government and its marionette, the electric company. What's this? Are you sure they don't mean the town council instead of the electric company? Still, marionette's a difficult term. Do you think the people understand what that means? Can someone explain it to me? Oh, a marionette's like a puppet. It means that while they're supposed to be an independent organization, they're actually being controlled as though they were dancing on strings. Oh, that sounds like the perfect word to describe Hinamizawa right now. Oh yeah, that's perfect. What are you saying? We're not their marionette. We're just trying to cooperate with them. Calling us a puppet is just splitting hairs. But that's what you said. You clearly told us you wanted to stop, not because of Satoko, but for the village. The future of the village. You said there's an issue because the village needs to maintain a friendly relationship with the government. Don't tell me you didn't say exactly that. You did say that. Didn't you? I heard it. It says it has nothing to do with Satoko. Mion, I thought there was a saying in this village, something about how the whole village coming together for one person? Oh, if there's one person coming, 2 should throw rocks. If there's 2, 4 do it. If there's 8, 16. And if there's 1,000, the whole village has got to stand up. If one person's abused, the whole village is abused. We all work together for that one villager. That's the unity of the Guardians. And the unity of the Guardians is stronger than a rock. That's what their leader said back in the day. His response is just like, oh. Mayor Kimiyoshi used to be the head of the Onigifuchi Guardians. He crossed his arms and started groaning. There were many things he wanted to say, but he knew none of them would make him look good, and so he continued to stay silent. When I moved here, Mion and Shion told me a valiant story about the dam conflict. But that unity didn't just start a few years ago when the conflict happened, right? I thought those traditions were here over 40 years, ever since Japan lost the war. That's why I respect those who fostered unity here since that era. I find that incredible. More than anything, I'm impressed by the courage the Guardians displayed here in this picture frame. The government tried to pull a lot of dirty tricks to submerge this village, but the Guardians thwarted every one of them. Because of the efforts of those men, Hinamizawa is still here today. If they hadn't done anything, we'd be at the bottom of a lake right now. So I'm grateful this village exists with this proud unity and peaceful scenery. I'm proud to call myself a resident of this town. Someone shouted. It wasn't one of my friends. It was one of the elderlies. That's why we fight. We fight because we all live together in the village. If there's one person coming, 2 should throw rocks at him. There's 2, 4 would do. There's 8, 16, fight back. If there's 1,000, the whole village should stand and fight. You should never nuke a country twice. They give you hand time. Maybe we should nuke another country. I mean, if you're looking for something exceptionally crazy, maybe you'll have to look to outer space. Maybe liberate some aliens. Liberate some aliens, and then you'll get some really crazy shit. Get together for one villager. That's the unity of the Guardians. Satoko Hojo's one of us. You all know how horrible her uncle is. You all know we can't leave her alone with him for a whole month. We gotta save her from our uncle right this minute. We need the power of the Guardians one more time. We need the spirit of the Guardians to reunite again. Rana and Mion applauded, and the applause quickly spread to everyone. I saw smiles creeping across the faces of the old people. However, they quickly wiped away those smiles and started discussing with their neighbors. It's just right. It's not like Hinamizawa has to obey the government all the time. But the damn conflict's over. The government officials are taking care of us, too. I wasn't aware of that. Are they really supporting us that much? Well, on a personal level, I agree with what Maibara is saying. I can't approve how the council's operating. Keiichi's right. The village can't put pressure on him because the government's telling us to do so. Mr. Mayor, we might not be able to support Keiichi, but I don't think we have the right to tell him to stop. I don't like this Maibara boy's attitude. He's way too disrespectful. Do you think you can get away with talking to us like that? 3 scary old guys came up to yell at me. I raised my own voice and yelled right back in their faces. It's not about my attitude, it's about the soul of this village. Get out of here if you don't have the courage to stand up for one innocent villager. How dare you speak to me that way? Whack. The big old guy smacked me upside the head. What do you think you're doing? I hit him right back and the room went into a panic again. Raina approaches. I thought she'd come to stop me, but she hit the old guy in the head too. What? What do you... Don't think you can get away with this just because you're a girl? He whacked Raina upside the head. However, Raina talked back to him with a firm look in her eyes. If one comes at you, 2 should fight back. Isn't that the spirit? Hinamizawa? Well, since you hit Raina, I guess there's 4 of us. Let me in on this action. Keiichi, your father's getting in too. Everything you said's right. If they're gonna try and stop you with violence, I'm not turning a blind eye to that. Remember, there's a cop just sitting here laughing his ass off. He's like, oh my god, this is fucking hilarious. Like, just think of it. Uyeshi's just chilling out here like, he's like, oh, this is happening. Okay. Okay. I think he's just like having. I feel like Uishi is just like in the back, laughing his ass off. And there are 3 people blocking Keiichi's way. We need 6 people to fight that. Oh, Rika? Oh, I'm impressed to see that courage of yours, Rika. Let me in too. I too will be taking a side. Chie stood up. I thought she gave up under the pressure. I was almost going to neglect my student. I prioritized myself, although I thought I'd do anything for them. I'm ashamed to call myself a teacher. With wearing a fierce expression, she stared at the mayor, and this was her answer to the pressure he tried to put on her. Chie-sensei, I think I overstepped my bounds as an educator. However, what my bar is doing is the right thing, and as an educator, I have to acknowledge the fact that he's doing something right. I can't tell him to stop. I have your support, Chie-sensei. I have nothing to fear. Let me ask you people one more time. Is it more important to stay cozy with officials or save the life of one innocent villager? You don't need to ask them, Kei-chan. This is no ordinary assembly hall. This used to be the headquarters of the Guardians. The people here were all members of the Guardians once. Nobody without their spirit would ever come to a place like this. Neon. Mr. Mayor, Keiichi's actions are embodying the spirit of Hinamizawa. The way he's trying to fight without fear is exactly what the Guardians were doing. I think it's shameful for this town council to tell him to stop. And if you're gonna ask him to back off, I'm gonna go smash all these pictures on the wall and set fire to the flag of the Guardians. Threatening arson. Now we're threatening to commit some fairly serious crimes. Vandalism and arson? No. Well, the mayor did nothing but moan. Somebody else raised their voice. Well, I'm supporting my bar. He may be disrespectful, but he has the right spirit. I agree. NA just got an exclusive Fujino banner. Oh, hello. That sounds interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out. Literally right. Oh, yeah, it just passed midnight. And that's new banner time. Pathetic the way we're colluding with those government officials. Keiichi, don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Keep on fighting. Don't give in to the pressure. The assembly hall filled with a great round of applause. Barbara, tell us what's going on so far. Very well. On the day Satoko was kidnapped by her uncle, Chie visited the house. He refused to let her see her. It was obvious something unusual was going on. Hanyu's best girl, of course. Well, I guess we'll have to find out, since we haven't seen too much of Hanyu other than her despairing. I'm hoping to see an excited, reinvigorated Hanyu at some point, because she's mostly been a wet blanket. She's cute, and makes cute noises, but she's been a wet blanket this arc so far. I'm hoping that either end of this arc or next arc she's more of a support and less of a drag on the team. Right. So, it was obvious something unusual was going on. Chie called the Child Consultation Center right after that. And that night, a social worker visited, but they determined there was no abuse, so they put her case on hold. It might be a normal way to handle it, but they don't know how dangerous that uncle is. For that reason, the 5 of us went to the center to let her know how urgent it was she be rescued. They said they'd take it into consideration, but they didn't take action. We thought 5 of us weren't enough, so the next day we went there with more than 20 of our classmates. You took the whole class? Kei-chan gave a very moving speech. He told them they had to save their friend and not abandon her. If he was here during the dam conflict, I'm sure his charisma would have resolved it a year earlier. We all knew how well spirited this lad is. The center was still not willing to listen to us on the second day, so we made no progress. All they told us was they were working on it. No, Keiichi, you did make progress. They were so intimidated they asked someone from the government to check on our council. Oh. Well, the fact they tried to pressure us to stop meant what you did was working. You made progress. Well, I guess you could look at it like that. If they weren't scared of us, they wouldn't have acted that way. On the 3rd day, we called all our friends and gathered 60 people. This time we got to meet the head of the office. He listened to us, but he didn't say what their decision would be. Keiichi, to tell you the truth, at that point the council had already spoken to the officials and made her decision to stop you. The answer arcs seal. If you didn't know, Higurashi is divided by question and answer arcs. Yep. So you'll wonder when you see her a lot. It's when the answer arcs arrive. Aren't we in the answering arcs? This is the answer arc, right? There's only one more chapter of it. Or one more arc of it. He shows up in the second last of the answer arcs. It's a late arrival, but it's a welcome arrival of a new and somewhat interesting character, giving us a little bit more perspective on a few more things, like some of the noise she's making. Is this the rescuing Satoko arc? Yes, it is. This is arc 7. It's the first arc she's introduced in, which is in the Answers arc, the third of 4 answer arcs she gets introduced in. She actually doesn't show up whatsoever in the first 4 arcs. Alright. After the Child Center confirmed the whole village wasn't involved, they decided to ignore your appeal. That's what I thought. I could feel that from the way the head of the office treated us. It was obvious they were just trying to get over with. I plan to go there tomorrow too, but I wonder if they'll even pretend to listen. They don't let us in because I think the village is pressuring us to stop. Yeah, they think the village is on their side. The village needs to publicly announce they're supporting Keiichi. I agree, otherwise they definitely won't listen to us again. We should do that. We should tell them that Hinamizawa is not going to stop my bar from what he's doing. Personally, I don't want to complain about Keiichi's actions. However, it's complicated when I think of it from the town council's point of view. Even if we tell them we're not on either side, they'll think we're on his side. That's tantamount to picking a fight with them. But I have to respect the opinion of the council too. I can't just decide this on my own. I need to get approval from all council members. Most of them are here right now. So you say, but let's just be honest here. You're afraid there's some among you who are against saving the daughter of the Hojos, aren't you? The room sunk into silence. That was the heart of the matter. Everyone thinks the conflict's over. You told us that a few minutes ago. You also think there's no need to discriminate against them, now that everything's said and done. However, you're still afraid of the family. You're afraid you will be badmouthed if you interact with the Hojos. Satoko's parents are indeed the last of the evacuation supporters, leaders of the evacuation supporters. What crime did Satoko commit? Well, I don't have anything against her, but other people do. I don't have anything against her either. The conflict's over. Her parents passed away. I don't hate her. I know there's some people who still do, yeah. Well, let me ask you this. If you hate Satoko, raise your hand. I'm sure no one will. Yet you all still believe interacting with her will make others speak ill of you. However, no one's going to. There's no one like that. That can't be true. There's one person at least. Tell me who it is. Who told you directly they hate Satoko? The room fell silent again. It had become obvious they're all avoiding Satoko because of a misunderstanding. Tomorrow is Jean Archer. Child consultation center won't do anything no matter what we do. They're convinced the council is on their side, and we won't be able to fight until the council makes it clear they're not supporting them. Did I watch Sotsu and Go of the anime? I have not. I have not watched any of the anime. Actually, no, that's not true. I watched 5 minutes of the anime because I needed to get a clip from the anime. Because at the time, I did not have the audio files installed because it is a mod to get the audio stuff from the Xbox. From the console release. So I had to scan through it looking for the Omuch Kairi line that we have for a soundbite. That soundbite is from one of the first few episodes of the anime. Because I'm pretty sure the arc in one of the animes, I think it's the Go anime. I think the first arc is very, very, very close to the first arc of Higurashi. So I looked at the first 5 minutes. I just scanned through the first episode. It looked like the start of the first arc, and I skipped to episode 3 or something where I think he does the Omuch Kairi for the fucking Colonel Sanders statue. And that's where I got that clip. Be nice and specific because I remember doing it. It took me 20 minutes to find. It felt like it took 20 minutes, but it probably didn't actually take that long. Yoshi, by any chance, do you need approval from someone? Ouch. Oh, you're right on the money with that one. The mayor forced out a smile. I had no idea what Rika was talking about, but she must have hit the nail on the head. But who could it be? Who was that someone? If I could persuade them, the village would support us. Are you talking about my hag of a grandmother? The Kimiyoshi family has forgiven the Hojos. The Furutas have done the same. Me? I'm one of the leaders of the three families too. Inamizawa has three families who make all decisions for the village. It's been tradition since the time of the village, right? It's kind of an old tradition, but this was a road we couldn't avoid. Wait, is it also a Summer Kyo banner? Oh my goodness. All we need is approval from Sonozaki. I've heard they're the most power among the three. Everyone knew it, but it's taboo to speak it. It's something only I could say since I don't have the ties they do. That and your best friends are like their two daughters, and they're both on your side. If we can persuade Mii-chan's grandmother, will the town council support us? What do you think, Mion-chan? I don't want to fight with Granny. But if she's standing between Satoko and safety, I guess I have to. I won't be fighting as the next head of the family. I'll be fighting as Satoko's friend. Summer Jean Dantes, Summer Kyo, and Asagami Fujino. Okay. That sounds like a fun banner. Kimiyoshi-san, please promise. If we persuade Mion's grandmother, will we have the council's support? Of course. No one would complain if the decision of the three families. Let me get this straight. You're all refusing to help because you're afraid of Mion's grandmother? You're all grown adults. Good grief, she's Yakuza. That's what you say. Isn't Oryu terrifying? That's not true. I know Mii-chan's grandmother very well. She has a scary side, but she's not that bad. Keiichi's scarier than when he's angry. We haven't actually seen Oryu kill multiple people in one day. We actually haven't seen her kill anyone, but we know she's killed people in the past. And Reina's scarier than me. Alright, I'm gonna persuade Mion's grandmother. Support us when we succeed. Actually, don't just quietly support us either. I'm expecting you guys to take action. What do you mean by that? Well, we want the Guardians to reunite. Are you gonna let the kids do all the protesting? You want us to protest too? We can't do that. We should though. We're gonna tell those officials we're gonna fight against them. We need to do everything we can. We're gonna support Keiichi on behalf of the village. We need to make things clear to them. We gotta support those kids if we're gonna be on their side. Once we decide to do that, it's no longer my bar's fight. Fuck Dante's. Dude, he's fuck. I love that crazy edgelord. It'll be the village's fight too. In that case, you should be our leader, Kimiyoshi. There's no way the mayor shouldn't participate in the protest. Alright, I got it already. Well, if Oryu gives us our approval, I'll act like a man. I'll help Keiichi. Everyone else agree? Aye, alright. We got the heroic music playing in the background. We're making progress. You're not gonna help him persuade Oryu? Fine. I'll come with him to persuade Oryu. The way he talks might be too immature for her. She needs someone who can talk like an old person. I'm sorry for being so disrespectful today. I really have to apologize, everyone. Oh, don't worry about it. You said some good things. You broke up the collusion in one fell stroke. Your refusal to cave under pressure is the pride of Hinamizawa itself. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's some people who are against Sonozakis because they're taught they're the ones to mastermind. I mean, it's not like it's a bad train of thought, though, right? Like, based on the evidence before you, if you don't have all the loops in your head, it's really it looks like they're the masters because they freely admit to it or are willing to like accept the implication they are for more power, right? Just like they claim, just like everyone thinks. And Oryu acknowledges that they're the people who did the kidnappings, and then when you put a fucking gun to her head, she's like, we're not responsible for that shit. Like, okay. It's like, gun to the head, suddenly she's not responsible, and you're like, well, if you're the one claiming all the infamy, if you're the one claiming responsibility for killing like 20 people in the village and anyone who disrespects your wishes, like, I can totally see people being terrified of you if they're not if not outright wanting to kill you, like Shion did. It's like, was Shion like a little crazy in the second arc and the in the second and the I think the fifth arc? Yeah, probably. She went like a little bit loopy. But from her perspective, I think from like a certain perspective, I think like Mion and Oryu are definitely people like if you're like, based on the evidence, you probably would be like terrified of and or want to kill, because the only way you find out that they're not the people who did all the killings is by literally like threatening to murder them. Like, if you have to literally like put a gun to someone's head to get the truth that they're not the fucking murderer out, like, and like at that point you're not even positive, right? That's just like circumstantial. They're just saying that because of the circumstances. Like, they claim they do a murder. They're flexing their muscles. They're reminding everyone they're fucking Yakuza, and it's the fucking 80s, so like the Yakuza can do anything they want to. And then like you put a gun to one of their heads and they're suddenly like, oh no, we didn't kill them. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure if you put a gun to some people's heads, half the time they'll just tell you whatever the fuck they think you want to know, right? So they don't die? Right? It's like nail clipping? Dude, they didn't clip anyone's fucking nails. Like, she like, when Oryu gets pissed off when Oryu gets irritated because she doesn't like fucking Shion's boyfriend, who's a Hojo, by the way. Because he's a Hojo, she literally has her like 3 of her nails ripped out. Like, that's the kind of person Oryu is. She just like summons people. She just summons people to her personal underground. She literally has a personal underground torture chamber with like all manner of torture devices that she actually uses on people on a regular basis. And she like rips out 3 of someone's nails just because she's like, I don't like the family your boyfriend's associated, your boyfriend was born into. And you're like, wow, what a fucking bitch. And you think that when this same person claims that they killed like 10 people and like kidnapped major government officials, you're like, fuck it, I'll believe that at this point. Like, yes, she has her own personal underground torture chamber. Like, that's the kind of person Oryu is. And you're thinking like, man, there's no way, like, how would you ever come to the conclusion that there's no way she's not responsible for these? It's like, claims credit for the murders, actually tortures people for her amusement or satisfaction, as is Yakuza. Like, okay, you look pretty fucking guilty. But like, apparently if you just take that evidence, if you just take the evidence of Mion saying it wasn't fucking her, then theoretically it didn't do it. That's like the conclusion we come to, which is kind of weird. Like, we're being told from those people when they're in circumstances that they would probably tell you anything to not die, which is kind of weird. Are Shion's actions in her arc reasonable or not? I mean, I don't think they're reasonable. I think she goes too far because she's like fucking losing it. But I can see parts of her actions being like reasonable, like semi-justifiable in some sense. Like, I think killing or interrogating Oryu is probably like 500% fair. But I think she like goes like fucking crazy because she ends up killing like Kimiyoshi. Rika, Satoko, like that. Well, okay, Rika kills herself, but like, no. But like, she was gonna get fucking tortured to death anyway, so I feel like in Shion's arc, she starts out and you're like, I'm not sure the reasoning you're doing this is quite right, but it's also like sort of a believable thing where she starts out and you're like, yeah, Oryu probably needs to go from your perspective. I can see that. The police won't take action against her because they're terrified of her. She owns the police. She owns the government. Like, she owns the police. She owns the mayor. She owns the government representatives, like the fucking senators. She owns the prefectural leadership. They're all Sonozakis. And she owns like half the town. And she's also in the Yakuza, who also have their own connections in the town on top of all that. Like, she owns the whole village and the neighboring town and the entire state. Like, it's not like she's just like queen of this little village. Like, imagine you're like living in, I don't know, fucking no, you're living in like Wisconsin or some shit. That's maybe not rural enough, but like you're living in Wisconsin, you're living in the middle of Wisconsin, and this person literally, it's like the senator is a Sonozaki. The senators are Sonozakis. Half the council, for half of like your state senate is fucking Sonozakis, and the other half are Yakuza. You're like, they could literally enact whatever laws she can like literally order the state to enact laws, whatever the fuck she wants, as long as the federal government doesn't directly intervene, she's fine. do whatever the fuck she wants. You're like, this person has so much, so much power, because she not only owns, like, the legal half of the world, but she owns the entire underground as well, because, like, there aren't competing underground factions, it's just Yakuza. And she's, like, the head, she's, like, directly related to the head of the family for the whole fuck region. It's bananas. I can totally see her killing people like that. Like, it's perfectly reasonable. It's like, if you have the chance to, like, axe that person, like, you might just have to fucking do it illegally, because they're at, like, the peak of their power. But yeah, like, I don't know. Apparently it's not, but I don't feel like there's a ton of evidence. Even Shion's bodyguard Kasai is scary, yeah. Yeah, the only reason he's her bodyguard and not an active Yakuza member is because he got seriously injured, right? Like, he's basically on reserve duty for the Yakuza, playing bodyguard for Shion. And if he does literally anything, it's enough to scramble all of the police in the city. Like, he asked for Reina in Reina's arc, he asked around for Reina, and literally the police call her, tell her she's, like, completely fucked if the Sonozakis find her. It's like, she's fucking, like, set the whole, like, literally Kasai asked around for her, and the police call her, and you're like, if the Sonozakis get you, you're fucked. Like, imagine getting a call from the police that says, like, you're just gonna fucking die or disappear if these guys get their hands on you. Like, that's the kind of response that anyone attached to Oryu, anyone directly working for Oryu, or especially the underground half, gets out of, like, the police. Like, if you're working with that reputation, and that kind of power, like, it's perfectly reasonable to be like, there's literally no way I can ever take this down solo, right? Like, you may as well go, because, like, if she can literally order the police not to do shit, like, then if she can kill someone and order the police not to investigate it, then you're, like, pretty fucked. Because she also said, I think she also said she could just have someone killed in town, right? Uishi says, Uishi wears a knife vest because he knows for a fact that if he gets murdered in town, by, like, he gets stabbed in town, they'll all reject it and he'll just be fucking dead. Like, that's not a good atmosphere for the town if you want to have any sort of law and order with Oryu around. It's like, it would almost be beneficial for the town if she would just, like, fucking disappear herself. Her and her whole power base, but oh well. Pretty hard to do that because they're all, like, basically related. Did I see Akasaka already? Yeah, we've met Akasaka. That's, like, the 4th arc? The 4th arc is his arc. And he's back in this arc. We haven't seen him, but he's actually in the region. Oryu is the... I am the scent. Sorry for hitting you. I got riled. Oh, that's my fault. You did a good job, Chie-sensei. You're a wonderful teacher. I didn't know it. Some people were still bitter towards the Hojo family. Probably. Oryu's the most bitter of anybody. However, according to Mion, Oryu doesn't hate the Hojos either. Really, the whole thing was ridiculous. Good for you, Maibara. I never thought you'd get the town council on your side. I don't quite have them on my side yet. I need to persuade Mion's grandmother. Oryu's like a dictator around here, but she won't do anything that'd make her lose the trust of the villagers. If you've already settled things at the council, it'll be hard for the Sonozakis to oppose you alone. You're such a great negotiator. You insulted them at start, but you gradually buttered them up. I did it the way my dad writes articles for his art magazine. That's the same style he uses. Oh? Your father set a good example for you, huh? He's an artist, isn't he? I'd love to see his work someday. Yeah, me too. Me too, because we've never heard anything about his art. My dad doesn't even let me see his art. I guess he can't show it to him either. He's like, my dad doesn't let me see his work. I guess he can't show it to Oishi either. What is his dad? His dad's doing like adult dojins, right? I'm pretty sure that's what he does. Because there was like a reference to that. There was a reference to his dad being a dojin artist when the fucking meeting happened in like arc 5 or 4 or 6 or something. Am I rolling on the banner? Maybe. I wish it was the Summer Mordred banner though. I'm not super enthused for it, but I might throw a little bit at it just for fun. What kind of dirty pictures is he drawing? Yeah, exactly. You ship Aka, Sokka, and Rika? Interesting ship, but I mean, Rika has lived like 100 years in her body, so that's not completely insane. Maybe she's dad knows like some karate or some shit. Jalter's still a good pick. Wait, do you mean Jalter or I thought you said Summer Jean. Is it actually regular Jalter? I thought it was Archer. I thought you were talking about the Archer. If it's the Archer, I'm skipping it. I already got one. Yeah, I already got one of those. I'm good. I'm already good on those. So the 5-star would only be Dante, and it's like, yeah, no worries. I was suddenly intrigued though. I'm like, oh my goodness, are we getting a seriously exclusive banner that's like completely out of left field? That's awesome. Got me excited. I was like, whoa, Jalter, that's a different story. I might have to get on to. I was like, if it's Jalter, if I'm mistaken and it's Jalter, I'm in on that. Take my quartz. All right, let's go see Oryu tomorrow night. We can't go right away. Once she gets into a bad mood, she'll never listen to us. I'll be coming along too. Who else is going? I'm going too. Raina's also coming. She said she'd cleave her head apart if she doesn't nod it for us. I'm not gonna do that. Don't be mean, Shisha. Do it, Raina. Do it. Bring the hatchet. I'm going to get you. I'll talk to Oryu myself. I see. Give her a piece of your mind, of course. I plan to myself as well. Oh, I'll try and be there. I might be able to help you just by being around. This sure is getting interesting. Are you ready to defeat the evil hag, sis? To be honest, I wish you'd swap with me tomorrow. Keishi, you've made great progress today. Yeah, the more people we have on our side, the stronger we become. We can save Satoko if we get the whole village together. This village won once against the national government, after all. The old people seemed proud to hear me talk about the damn conflict. Wait, who do I ship with Keiichi? I mean, I don't see too many ships for Keiichi. Like, apart from Reina, there isn't really any ship for Keiichi. Like, well, okay, I guess you could do Mion too, right? You could do Mion slash Shion. Or you could, I feel like Shion slash Mion doesn't care that much about Keiichi. I feel like Reina is like supposed to be the main ship. And I don't think anyone else really works. Like, Satoko doesn't work. Rika doesn't work at all. So you're just left with the green-haired twins and Reina. And the story seems to be... Yeah, the story seems to be hinting that, like, Reina's supposed to be a better pair. But, like, Mion slash Shion likes her more. Like, that's the way I'm interpreting it. Like, from 2 and 5, we know that Mion does like Keiichi, but like the game is not right. The writing of the story isn't telling me that they have this kind of compatibility. Whereas like with Reina, especially in like the first arc and the most recent arc, I think arc 6, the previous arc, the game was like hardcore shipping Keiichi and Reina. Like, it was really pushing that pairing on the reader. Whereas, like, even during the Mion arc, the Mion Shion arcs, the game's only, like, gently push. It's, like, kind of offering it as, like, a possible second option, but it's not really a thing. It's kind of like, it might be there. Maybe if you really don't like this pairing, you can kind of ship them if you want to. No, you know, it's not going to be a completely crack ship. It's going to be your, it's going to be like your alternate pairing rather than crack ship, because you're like, oh, there's some synergy. It's 5 hours? I mean, we started with Grand Order, my dude. We reversed the order of our games. Alright, the old people liked it. Everyone started talking about the heroic stuff they did back during the damn conflict. I thought we'd never save Satoko. That fate's reaching its end. The power we have now is overwhelming. The power to defeat fate is stronger than the mere chance of alignment with a few coincidences. Reina has more screen time with Keiichi than the twins, yeah. And the way they're writing is, the way the story is written is clearly implying that the better, he feels like he has more synergy with Reina. The next evening, suddenly, wow, we skipped the day at school? We skipped the pressure of not being able to do anything? We went right to the Sonozaki residence, okay. Can't catch a break? Tomorrow it'll be better. I thought we'd be talking with Mion's grandma over tea or something, however it wasn't so relaxed a situation as that. Mion's grandma stayed in her futon. She was propped up against a huge cushion. It made me feel like I was about to talk to a queen. That wasn't the only thing either. There was about 5 members of the family surrounding here, as though I was at a Yakuza gathering. You don't say! Have a good day at work, my dude. This wasn't just any old town meeting. It was a meeting of the 3 families. I kind of felt like I didn't belong, but I also didn't have the time to be afraid. If I could persuade this lady, I'd get help from the villagers. Just call her the hag. And that's the situation. If the council doesn't change their stance, no matter what Keiichi says, past this point, the center won't listen to him. At the very least, the town council needs to declare their neutrality. The mayor was the first to speak. The old woman looked grave, and I couldn't tell if she always wore an expression like that, or if the story made her look that way. She made a comment in a low voice to her people. The lady wearing a kimono spoke for her instead. Must be Mion's mother. 3, 2, 1, it is. I'm like, we've only seen one sprite for Mion's mother. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, there we go. The kimono hints at answer. The Child Consultation Center is simply doing their job. They understand how much you care about her. They're going to take your appeal into consideration. What more are you expecting from them? Mom, let me explain. Satoko's uncle's a horrible man. He regularly beat her last year, and I'm sure he's even worse this time around because his lover up and abandoned him. Didn't you investigate him, Kasai? Teppei Hojo, I mean? I did make such a report to Akane-san. You see, Mom? If we let the child center take care of this, it'll take months for them to save Satoko. I can't let her stay with that jerk for that long. She's not going to die. Stop making such a big fuss over this. The old lady finally spoke, but she didn't have anything pleasant to say. That's Ori for you. She might not die, but... Then shut up, you idiot. Worse, you're not even willing to risk your own life over this. Grow a backbone, you twin. What nonsense. The more I listen, the more nonsense I hear. Like, what do you mean not willing to risk your own life? Do you have to go murder this guy? Fucking Oryu. Goddamn, man. Wow. That's what why the whole village is afraid of her. She's like, you're not killing Teppei already? Fuck you. Like, what? What? We're trying to act reasonably here for 2 seconds. God damn. Someone shoot this hag. Like, I still think someone should just kick her down the well. Be like, yeah, goodbye. If nothing else, then we're torturing like a bajillion people, so you don't even need to go into the accusations. Just she's tortured like 20 people for her music. Just kick her down the fucking wall. So that's why the village is afraid of her. This was Oryu Sonozaki, known variously as the Hag or Empress Sonozaki. Oh, Toko's my friend. I want you to save her. Rika, you remember what I told you all this time? You have to choose your friends carefully. The girl's a demon child of the Hojos. I'm disappointed in you too, Dr. Erie. Aren't you old enough to realize what you're doing? Well, Satoko's the daughter of the Hojos, but she's not the one who supported the project or fought against the village. I think it's unfair for you to judge her that way. Shut up! Who do you think you're talking to, you piece of shit? Lovely lady. Are you sure she's willing to listen? You sure she's willing to forgive Satoko-chan? That's what Mion told me. I think I get where the other villagers are coming from now. You look like you have something to say, Keiichi-kun. You should just let it out. I made eye contact with Mion's mom. She's very pretty, but she was wearing the same grave look as Oryu. I feel like she's just like, maybe her face is just rests in like a slight smile. It seems like she's smiling a little bit, right? You can see a smile at the corner of her mouth. I don't know if she even has another face. Like, does she have a different sprite for her face? She might not. By then I had no doubts this was Mion's mother. I don't mind talking. Is it really okay though? Oh, go ahead. Came all the way here to the residence. You should speak if you want to. Rana nodded in agreement. Alright. Or you, Sonozaki-san. My name's Keiichi Maibara. I moved here not too long ago. It's nice to meet you. I already know a great deal about you. Well, let me tell you something. When your family moved to this village, you didn't come here to introduce yourself. That left a pretty bad impression. This fucking bitch. Listen to this shit. Listen to this shit. She's like, how dare you not introduce yourself to me like you're my peasant? Like I'm your new fucking squire? Like, you're queen of the fucking village? Like, you moved to my village and don't come worship me like, I moved to a random fucking city. Suck my dick, you old hag. It left a bad impression. You didn't come to offer me a gift for allowing you to live in my town. Like, okay, like again, I can see why the taser wasn't dying by taser was too good for her. Why was Mion only telling me this now? Oh, Mion said that. I hope it's not too late to leave aside the fact that it's Satoko Hojo for a minute. The important thing to note is a villager's in danger now. In order to help them, we have no choice to make an appeal to the Child Consultation Center. And I'm doing this all on my own accord. I haven't caused you any trouble. But you heard from the mayor. You've been causing trouble, didn't you? Council and Shishibone City Hall are working together. The Shishibone mayor and this Virago here had a talk with each other and decided to coexist. It was necessary for the village to prosper. But that village is gonna let an innocent girl suffer? Didn't you hear what I said? No one's going to just let her suffer. The center will take action when appropriate. You want them to hurry, but frankly, you're being selfish. Town council and the government officials are in a business relationship, and they're treating Satoko's issue like it's an ordinary one, so basically you're saying, you don't care what danger she's in. Like Mion said, Teppei's a horrible person. When Satoko showed up at the school 3 days after she kidnapped, she was already at her wit's end. After 3 days! I can't even imagine what would happen if we left her alone with him for a month. There's no guarantee she's going to be saved after that either. And at that point, they might decide to just put her case on hold again. Miss Sonozaki, does the emotional damage she's suffering not matter at all to you? So what do you think we should do? Well, I'm making an appeal, asking them to save her as soon as possible, and I'm going to continue going to the center until they do. Well, there you go. You can just continue your appeal. It's none of the Sonozaki's business. Isn't that enough? Damn, she's hard-headed. It's easy to win an argument with old people in the assembly hall since they got agitated quickly. But Akane, Mion's mom, is tougher than that. Both the Sonozaki sisters and their grandma are quick to anger, but Akane seems incredibly calm. She's calm, but still full of animosity. I can't continue our appeal anymore. If the council doesn't tell the officials they're going to support us, they won't even listen. You hear that, Mom? We can't just do what we want. We need the council to decide whether they're going to support us or not. Actually, the council's already made their decision. They said they'd support us as long as Granny agreed. Who the hell made that decision behind my back? Oh, you're all aware of how the Hojo family acted during the conflict, aren't you? If you're asking me to forgive them, my answer is still no. Alright. I'm not really familiar. What were Satoko's parents like? Her mom was like a stronger version of Satoko. Her dad was, well, Teppei's older brother. He's even stronger and scarier than Teppei. Scarier than Teppei? Damn, alright. That's not very funny. Now I'm starting to understand how they clashed with the Sonozakis. I guess she hasn't forgotten how much they pissed her off. So what you're saying is, if not for the fact that her parents were murdered, the MILF fans in the audience could have had like a MILF version of Satoko. That could be cool. You're saying it out loud so we can hear. My children told me a lot about you. I heard you're one courageous boy. Well, let me tell you this straight up. We'll be satisfied as long as the old lady in the futon just nods her head. I'm not expecting you to get involved. All I need is for her to nod. And if she said no, well, I'll smash her head in and make me on the new family head so she can nod for us. What the fuck? What the fucking hell did you just say, you goddamn son of a bitch? Someone bring me a sword, I'll cut him to pieces and dump him in the well. Are you ready for a fight, old lady? Whatever you ate tonight's gonna be your last supper. Shut the fuck up, you fucking little shit. Someone dump her. She needs to be dumped. I said she needs to be dumped in the well. You even know who you're talking to? The evil hag sent a violent glare my way, the intimidating aura surrounding her becoming almost visible. Normally I'd be terrified, but well, I can't back off today. Satoko doesn't have much time left, and everyone knows that. We all know she'll be forever damaged in only a few more days. We'd cry and lament our powerlessness. We'd have to fight as best we can, so we have no regrets. There can be no limits to how far we'd go to save her. Well, let me make this clear. Satoko's my friend. I'm fighting for her sake. How about you? I hear you used to be like that. You once fought in the village. The whole village, just to save one person. Isn't that how strongly you rejected the project? Sounds like you're a bit of a weak wait, no, he's not going to say that. Sounds like you're a bit of a weak leader. You're just an outsider. Wait a minute, old lady. I'm not an outsider. I'm Keiichi from Hinamizawa, and I'm fighting to save my friend, also from Hinamizawa. How can you say I'm an outsider? Or you. My brother came to this village not long ago, but he's already adapted our way of life. He's a young man with a lot of promise. Since when did you think disrespect is the same as promise, Eerie? Someone bring me my medicine and tea already. All this blood rushing to my head's making an ache. The man on the far end stood up and brought over some tea and medicine. Think I'm being disrespectful? Let me make this request properly. We want the family's help to save Satoko Hojo. Satoko lives in this village too, and moreover, she's my friend. Please help us. As I deeply bowed my head to her, my friends bowed along with me. Keiichi, raise your head. What shall we do, mother? None of my business. What are you expecting out of me? Satoko's like family to Keiichi. It's only natural for him to seek help for his family. Bob. However, the Sonozaki family and the Hojos were enemies. They once disparaged Mother in public too. I mean, I'm saying she probably deserved it. She's a fucking bitch. What can I say? We can never forgive them for doing that. This is an issue of distinction. What do you mean, distinction? They need to make an apology. However, they died in an accident. A convenient accident for you guys, I know. There's no one else who can apologize to us. Forgiveness won't come cheap. More fingernails? Is that what you're asking for? Jesus fuck. So if she apologized to you, you forget about what her family did? Or you counts apologies as in numbers of fingernails, by the way. The world we live is one of honor. If she apologizes to us, we'll have no choice but to forgive her. Are you going to make Satoko apologize? Considering they killed her parents, considering they wanted her parents dead, I mean, I don't know. Sure, I'll make her apologize for what her parents do. Her parents can't be there to do so, but I'm sure you'll forgive her, right? We'll have to see her before we make our final decision, but I suppose we can say we'll forgive her. What do you think, Oryu? What if Satoko apologized to you about the damn conflict? Well, I'll think about it when she apologized to me. I might forgive her if she really did. She laughed, obviously thinking Satoko would never actually apologize to her. It seemed for a moment as though Reina had a compromise in mind, but Reina always has a plan up her sleeve. Well, if she apologized to you, would you be able to apologize to her for discriminating against an innocent girl who didn't deserve to be treated that way? Oh, Satoko wasn't the one supporting the dam project. She's just the child of those who did. But you hate her for her last name. You're not just an ordinary old lady. You hold great influence over the people here because you're the leader of the family. Your public hatred towards her has a huge impact on the way the village thinks. That became clear with the council too. Everyone's afraid to interact with her because of how much you hate them. You're the mother of all Hinamizawa, instrumental in keeping us afloat in difficult times after the war. It's only natural you hold such great influence over people here. You're aware of how much your decisions affect the whole village. Let me say this again, Satoko's my friend. We've said that like 10 times. She is my family, and if your influence is going to cause us much trouble, I'll do battle with you. That's what protecting friends is about. I'm impressed to hear that from a city boy like you. Let me ask what the other family members think. Well, how about it? What he's saying makes sense. The problem between the families is not his business, but he's clear about how much he wants to save her. It wouldn't be any problem if she wasn't the child of the Hojos. They can do whatever they want to. We as family can just stay neutral. Don't you agree? Apparently that's not enough, everyone. The big scary man in sunglasses spoke with a deep voice. Oh, it's Kasai time. He's saying the town council won't support them unless the family agrees to as well. And without the support of the council, the center won't listen to them either. We need to be clear about our decision on this one. They set themselves up for this one. They set themselves up for this one by taking this stance. What do you think? Keiichi, you're stronger a man than my daughters led me to believe. Frankly, I had to change my opinion of you. You're a man amongst men. How goes things? Going well, my dude. Going well. Hello, are you Mion's father? I thought he was the boss of the of a Yakuza clan or something. Wait, I heard her dad is exactly that. He certainly looks the part. It's partly our fault your friend is struggling. Her parents aside, she's just an innocent girl. Isn't that right, mother? Who even cares? Anyone who bears the Hojo name is an ungrateful little shit. He even told me a few minutes ago he's gonna smash my head in. No one like that doesn't deserve to be called a man amongst men. Mother, can we help Keiichi-kun this one time? He's a passionate young man. Not many youngsters these days have that kind of inner strength. Granny, please. We need your help. Toko's my friend too. I deeply respect how you fought for this village. I want to fight like you for my friend. I'm asking for your help too. Satoko's my family. She's a little sister to me. Please give us your help. Upon seeing the twins bowing so deeply, the stubborn woman simply stared at them with that grave look of hers. I figured it would be difficult to get her to cooperate with us. The mayor looked troubled too. Mion's grandma eventually turned her gaze to me and I stared back at her. I already bowed to you once. I'm not doing that again. Let me say it once again. I like how Rika's just sitting there. Look at Rika's face. Oh my goodness. Are you stubborn? I like Rika's face here. No, wait. There we go. Spacebar will hide it. I like Rika's face here. She's just staring at the blank, shocked expression. Like she can't believe what's happening. Who's our perspective character right now? Our perspective character is Keiichi. Although we do occasionally swap to Rika. Okay. 250k until 115 mordred. Jeez. Good luck. Good luck. I got a long way to go. Satoko's my friend. She's one of the villagers. She's never disrespectful to you. You have no reason to hate her. I nod my head. What happens next? Well, once the council's on our side, the center will have to hear us out, and if they still don't listen, we'll go there again. And we'll go there with the whole village. Tomorrow's Saturday. The center's open in the mornings. The villagers will all be gathering for the preparation for the festival then, so I'll just take them along with me. That would be crazy. You'd be involving hundreds of people. How many people would come exactly? I don't know how many, but I'd definitely make a speech in front of all of them. How do things look to you, Mr. Mayor? Most of the council members support them. Our relationship with the government is important, but some of them think it's more important to fight for Satoko, or to resurrect the spirit of the Guardians. We all understand what Keiichi is trying to do, and no one quite disagrees with him. So the whole village, united, even without Mother? Well, you're still seeking final approval from the family? That's a rather dirty way to do business. Akane, or you. To put it simply, I feel bad for Satoko. She's doing the best she can, even though she's all alone. I think it's time for us to let her know she won't be ostracized by anyone anymore. I refuse. I'll never forgive the demon child of the Hojos. Alright, fine then. You're the enemy of my friend. That makes you my enemy. I'll kill you right here. Mion, you got her place? And lend us your support. I'm gonna kill this old bat right this minute. Alright, alright. As I jumped, her family members stood in my way. They all put their hands into their pockets. I don't want to imagine what they might pull out of there. This is pissing me off. How dare you say that? I can't take this anymore. Or you think of your blood pressure. Sorry, Rika-chama. Will you pass me that bag of medication? My veins really are about to burst. She was mumbling too much for me to tell what she was saying, but I could tell she was furious. She whispered something into Mion's mother's ear. She spoke for her instead. I'm sorry, this is it for tonight. She has a horrible headache and can't talk to you any longer. I still haven't gotten my answer. H, you need to learn to play by the adults' rules. I've been very patient with you today. That's because you're a friend of my daughter's. You need to reflect on that, don't you think? Kid, we've done enough today. Let's get out of here. Based on Mion and Shion's reaction, Mion's mom is scary when she's angry. They were convinced their mom was going to explode in about 10 seconds. Still, should we really leave after that? I really want her to nod. If she gives me an answer tonight, I can gather a crowd tomorrow. The people at the center were laughing at us today. It gradually increased the number until the third day, but on the fourth we had far less. They must think we won't show up at all in a couple days. No matter what, we can't stop showing up. How many days has it been since she was taken by her uncle? You got him in 30. Nice, dude. Awesome. Congratulations on that. You are a lucky man. We don't have a day to waste. However, for tonight, the meeting is over. The old lady went to sleep and we were kicked out of the room. The edgelord who haunts your dreams? Even though the rest of us were forced to leave, the mayor stayed behind to wrap things up. We decided to wait in the yard for him to come back out. I know who you mean. The semi-surprise banner. Quite exciting, isn't it? I'm contemplating rolling for him or one of the 4 stars a little bit just for fun. Kinda wish they were Surfer Mordred though. Gonna be honest. I don't even need Surf Mo, I just want Surf Mo. Damn it, we were almost there. You said everything you needed to say. You have to give her time to think about it. Of course, you don't have time to waste. What do you think, Coach? Horyu was in a foul mood. Once she gets like that, she'll stay that way for at least 3 days. It might be difficult for us to take any villagers along to the protest tomorrow. At least she listened us to the end. We have to trust she'll make the right decision. Right. It's hard to trust in someone and wait, though. Hey, everyone. You did a good job in there. Neon and Shion ran over to join us. You two did a great job, too. How was it? Do you think it'll work out? I have no idea. From the looks of it, she was in a terrible mood. Honestly, K-Chan, I don't think you should ever come back here. Oh, so I can't hang out at your house again? Damn. Still, that was impressive, K-Chan. You didn't even seem scared. Was she really that scary? She had a scary look on her face, sure, but it wasn't that bad. You can only say it because you don't know how scary she really is. Well, as they say, ignorance is bliss. That's not true. I think you would have fought her even if you knew how scary she could be. Speaking of which, you seemed fine when she yelled at you too, Ryugu-san. She might have raised her voice, but she wasn't actually angry. I wasn't scared at all, either. Nope, not at all. She's fine. Did she really not look angry to you? No. Your grandmother wasn't angry at all. Is that really how it looked to her? To me, it looked like her head was going to explode. The next moment, I heard someone walking towards us. It was the mayor, accompanied by Mion's mother. Oh, Uncle Kimiyoshi, how was it? Did the old witch finally start melting? Well, we got her approval. Huh? You mean? The Virago gave you the green light. You can do whatever you want to, Keiichi. Are you serious? Alright, mission accomplished. Is it really true, Bob? The hag was so ticked off, though. I can't imagine what caused her to grant us permission. No matter how it happened, I guess she accepted me in the end. The Virago gave approval for the council to support Keiichi. Now you have the Guardians on your side. With them, there's no way you can lose, but you can't put up a disgraceful fight either. You only just moved to this village. You need to understand and appreciate the history of Hinawizawa. Can you take on this responsibility? Yeah, I can. Oh my, you're a brave boy. You do have my respect. It takes great courage to address the Virago like that. It gave me chills when you jumped on top of her and put your hands around her throat. Eh? Well, I almost did jump on her, but I wasn't actually serious. Listen for a moment. You jumped on top of her and nearly choked her to death. That's how it's gonna be. What? That's so violent. The Virago can't possibly forgive the Hojos. He also can't possibly give you what you want simply because you came to her and begged for it. Unless the story goes something like, after Keiichi violently fought with the Virago, she was impressed by his chivalry and decided to grant him special permission. It won't sound convincing. Got it, Mion? Yeah, that sounds great. Things can't be simple with her, can they? She's like, he has to have almost strangled me to death or it isn't real. So this is how a legend is born. Now people will think you physically fought the hag to save Satoko. People are gonna be afraid of you, Kei-chan. This is the beginning of the legend of Keiichi, the strongest. Everybody will run and hide when they see you in the streets. I don't want to be a legend. But anyway, thanks guys. We've become a legend. You'll destroy your wall when you get your first money for your job. That's how it usually goes, that's how it usually goes. Unless you're already well off, that's probably how it goes. You'd thank me, the council made the decision. We can't go against their wishes, in fact. We would have preferred if you just ignored us and went ahead with things. That was a dirty move of yours, Kimiyoshi. Well, I'm glad she gave us her approval after that. Virago always worried about Satoko because people were still treating her poorly. She thought she could only make everything right with her death. Thanks to all you, she's able to sell this issue before the end. I'm sure she appreciates it. No, we're thankful to her as well. I have to come here again to thank her in person. That's not a good idea. She'll chase you around with a sword next time. In fact, I'm surprised she didn't do that today. She must be fond of you, Keiichi-kun. I thought so too. You're even more fond of using your sword. Rika, don't say that with a big smile. I'm glad I'm still alive. I'm grown fond of you too after today. That's what being a man's about. Satoko is a very lucky girl, having such a dedicated man as you. Wait, Mom. Satoko and Keiichi are like that. Oh, if he doesn't have a girl yet, you two have a chance. Keiichi-kun, between Mion and Shion, who do you prefer? Sweats nervously. I'm like, how did I answer this? You can tell me. You can tell me your mother. You can call me your mother from now on if you like. You can call me your mother. Mion and Shion simultaneously turned red and hit me with their fist and elbow. The apple does not fall far from the tree, does it? Their mom talks just the same way they do. Well, why did we have to suffer for her mom asking us to choose between them? But Keiichi, you managed to successfully persuade Oryu. Yeah, if I had to pick best girl, I'm still leaning towards Shion. I'm hoping Hanyu impresses me because we haven't seen much of her. I feel like I haven't really gotten her when she's in an excited or happy state. It's just been like depressed Hanyu this whole time, which isn't amazing. Which isn't amazing for like making you like someone a lot. Managed to successfully persuade Oryu as promised. You have the council's support. We'll call the people in charge tomorrow and let them know. Of course, I'll tell them to take Satoko under their protection as soon as possible. We have Oryu's support too. I'm sure Satoko will be rescued shortly after my call. Are you serious? You just managed to persuade someone that important, Kei-chan? So Satoko is going to be safe, this time tomorrow. We can't say that for sure. If they refuse Uncle Kimiyoshi's request, that means the Guardians will come after them. He's normally a calm man, but he's like a monster when he becomes the leader of the Guardians, aren't you, Uncle? Oh, I'll be a monster if I have to. I can promise you that. I'll do my best to ensure that Satoko is rescued as soon as possible. But thanks. Will you please stop ostracizing her just because of who her parents were, though? We heard you say bad things about her, you know? Something about how she's a member of a cursed family. I was saying those things because other people. I don't actually have anything against her. I quit saying it, alright? If you don't mean it, why bother saying it? Anyway. Please accept her as another child of the village. Of course. I'll never say that again. I promise you that. Habits are hard to break, my friend. Habits are hard to break. I'm afraid Keiichi-kun might throttle me too. After that, we started heading back home. Satoko still isn't saved, but I think we made progress all the same. The mayor's going to call the center tomorrow, let them know he's on our side, and he's going to persuade them to save Satoko as soon as possible. He'll bring up Oryu's name too. Is Satoko really going to be rescued from her fate? I'm sure she will. She might even be saved tomorrow. If not, we'll go all out next time. It'll be the war to end all wars. Oh, not a third one. We already had one of those. Also, Rika... Don't use a word like fate anymore. Putting it like that is like it's already been decided. See, nothing's actually decided in advance. We're the ones who make our own futures. Stop using the word fate like there's nothing we can do. Rika seemed to think about what I said for a while. I wondered for a moment if I said something that hurt her feelings, but she soon smiled at me. I'll do what you say. I won't use the word anymore. You told me you could change fate easily as tearing a piece of paper, and after 100 years you're about to break the horrible cycle of Teppei's return. I can believe the danger that awaits me is something that can be changed as well. The worst that could ever happen is you not moving to Hinamisawa. I experienced that twice in the past 100 years. Those were the saddest worlds of all. What? But I don't understand. What just came out of your mouth? You're trying to confuse the issue, aren't you? She's just like, that's a secret. I'll do as Keiichi says. I won't use words like fate anymore. Alright. We're rescuing Satoko. She might be saved. Might even be in the next couple minutes of our lives. We might see it. Still music with volume of that. Damn. Hello, thank you for calling. You've reached Shishibone City Hall. I started the process of upping the volumes for all those. I have to redo them all though. Hello. Excuse me, could you get me the local affairs chief from social welfare? Of course, please hold. Okay, Kimiyoshi's call. Thank you for calling. This is the local government section. May I speak to the head clerk, Ida-san? Hello, Kimiyoshi. Thank you very much for the. Oh no, it was no problem. Really, I should be thanking you. I'm much obliged. Head clerk is right here. I'll give him the phone. Sir, it's Kimiyoshi, head of the town council. Hello. How may I help you today? Time to rescue Satoko. That's exactly right. I'm calling about that case at the Child Consultation Center. Oh yes, a group of young children have been protesting in front of the office. There's such an inconvenience. I'm so glad we were able to talk to you about that. How'd it turn out? Well, the village has officially decided to support my Barakun. Wait, what? Excuse me, could you say that again? The town council agrees with what Maibara is doing. The younger people in the council want to support him as best they can, and well, I say younger, but they're in their 50s and 60s. I see. However, what are the other council members saying? Well, we held an emergency meeting last night. Some of the more hard-headed members were against it at first, but they were persuaded by Maibara in the end. You know, we don't see young people with that much backbone these days. In my opinion, attitudes like that ought to be nurtured for the sake of a brighter future. So, everyone on the council reached a consensus? That's right, everyone came to an agreement, and nobody's actually opposed to supporting him. But Kimiyoshi, as I explained, the people at the center are doing the best they can. They can't render their judgment before the investigation's over. It's a human rights issue. Believe Maibara explained to them many times. Satoko is being locked up by a terribly violent man. The emotional scars she's suffering will never heal. She will forever have a deep wound in her pure and innocent heart. Remember what they were saying at the youth seminar the other day? You were there with me, weren't you? Well, what does the family say about this? Well, Orhyu also agrees with us. He was very clear about that. If you're going to insist on not rescuing her, the whole village will be joining Maibara's movement. Wait, Orhyu Sonosaki said that? Well, this is a problem with the family. It's very hard for the government to take care of it. Well, if I could see the man, I'd talk to him in person, but he rarely leaves his house. Besides, if one of us personally said something to him, he might get nervous and hurt Satoko even more. That's why the government has to get involved. But I understand your point. I'll call Sonosaki in a moment and ask for her opinion too. I advise you not to do that. She's quite upset right now. I really wouldn't call her for some time. Really? Oh, that's not good. When she's mad, it's like she turns into a demon. Anyway, I want you to tell the center to put her under their protection. I'll come with you if you need me to. You can go right now. Oh no, I can't make you go through that trouble. I'll call the center and give you their feedback later today. Let me know before noon. I'm sure your call won't be long. So long it stretches into the evening at least. Is the head of the office that busy? Oh, no, sorry, he's not. Very well. I'll call you before noon today. Thank you very much. Tell them the council is upset they're not taking the appeal seriously enough. I'll let them know. Yes. I'll talk to you again soon. Click. Sir, are you okay? Oh, this is bad. They're kicking up a storm again. Satoko, please call Sonosaki-san and ask her what's going on. I need to call the center. This might be a resurrection of conflict. Hello? This is the local government section calling. May I speak to the head of the office? Hinamizawa Town's Council is supporting them? I thought you told me they were connected to this. Well, is this the Satoko chapter? This is the second Satoko-themed chapter in the Answers arc. I did. When I spoke to the mayor the other day, they weren't involved. However, they changed their stance just last night. I understand. However, we're still not going to reverse our decision even if the village really does show up. It wouldn't be right to give her special treatment just because the council protests. Sir, I believe you're aware of this. They're the Onagafushi Guardians. You know about the dam conflict, right? I wasn't living here then. I don't know much about it. I heard it was some huge government protest, something like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you should pay attention to what they're saying. Wait. I heard the Guardians disbanded years ago. Haven't you had a fairly close relationship with the village since then? Yes, things worked out smoothly. I wonder what happened to change it overnight. The mayor seems to be favoring a young man named Maibarakun. They have the support of Sonosaki-san too. It's not a trivial matter. You mean the ruler of the underside as well? Never actually mattered. At any rate, you need to be very careful. If it's at all possible, I think you should try and protect her immediately. I'm not familiar with the mayor, so I don't know what kind of person he is. Our job needs to be done carefully. No matter the job, it's not right to do things in a disorderly fashion. Our people are doing the best they can. They have piles of other cases to work on. Every case is very important. We can't just prioritize her for no reason. I see. I understand. I'll call Kimiyoshi and let him know your opinion. You need to call him back? Look, the government doesn't exist for this town council's amusement. Why are you bending over backwards to look after the needs of one village? I understand. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Click. His first thought is, oh, this is so bad. That guy isn't even from around here. He has no idea how scary that town council can be. It's a transfer that's a transfer from the prefectural office from you. Oh, we're fucked. He's fighting against Hanami-sama. I'm not gonna be responsible for this shit. He's like, how'd you do? Did you get to talk to Sonozaki? Yeah, she has the same opinion as Kimiyoshi. She also wants a call from you regarding what the center said. Oh no, this is so bad. This poor guy. I feel sorry for this guy. He gets a call and he's like, make the call. And he's like, oh no, oh no. This idiot, the center didn't give me a yes. Oh no. I thought this was gonna be a happy Saturday. What a response. He's like, I thought this was gonna be a nice day. No. They don't prioritize Hojo's case this time because Satoko made a false report to them before many times. Yeah, the original excuse was that the original reason was that she made a false report a few years ago, and they're taking their fucking time about it. But I think it's really funny that they're still taking their time because if like imagine, I can understand them taking their time the first time this happened, like last year. Where this is the first time she's put in an abuse report, and last time she was lying about it. That's reasonable. The last year when she put in her report, I assume they should have actually done their due diligence, because if they did, they would have put in a note that the abuse stopped because her aunt fucking got murdered. Like, imagine being like, well, the abuse went away last year. Like, literally got murdered. If someone has to die to end the abuse, there's a problem. And you should probably believe them next time. Like, that should be a big red note in the file that says, this ended because someone got murdered. Like, two people in the family fucking died. And you're like, well, one disappeared, one died. And you're like, well, another reporter abuse from the same family with the same people involved. I mean, the ones that are left alive. Well, it'll be fine. Like, how do you even come to that conclusion? To be like, case resolved. Case resolved, one member of the offending party got murdered, and the other guy fled town. Like, that should be the most open and shut case of get them the fuck out of town. It's like, okay, it's like, alright, they said there was abuse, the person abusing them died, and the other person skipped town. Like, even if they didn't have record of that, it's like, okay, she definitely had a legit abuse case last time. So anyway, we're gonna skip that. We're just gonna be like, well, the abuse ended. Not our problem. It's like literally dying should not be. No more abuse. Someone died, and so the abuse stops. Like, is your expectation as a member of the Child Services Center to be like, well, if somebody dies to end the abuse, that's fair. We wouldn't want anyone to actually be abused. You know that we'll accept someone being abused. We'll accept murder as an answer to end the abuse. Like, that seems like a really bad call on their part. Like, if you want people to start murdering people, I mean, give them that answer. It's like, well, we're not going to do anything unless someone dies, and if someone dies, we won't do anything because someone died, and that's a great answer to our problems. Like, okay. It's like, if someone dies in your abuse case, that should be a huge sign something went wrong, like 15. That should be like a 15 on the scale of how badly your abuse case can fuck up, right? It's like, you can not have saved this person because you, like, were too passive, or, like, they got seriously injured, or they had a mental breakdown. This is literally people died. Someone died in your abuse case. That is literally the worst case scenario for your child abuse case, is that one of the people being abused or the abusers commits murder. It doesn't get worse than that. You literally had multiple people. Someone died. That should be like a 15 out of 10 on the disaster scale for your, like, child abuse scenarios. Right? But apparently not. Alright. Well, it's gonna be a bad Saturday. The head of the center has no idea what he's up against. There's gonna be a huge crowd swarming the area by the beginning of the week. We have to call Kimiyoshi and Sonozaki right away, don't we? Should I help with that too? Or anything else, we should be calling the mayor of Shishiban. They're like, we gotta call the mayor. After the recent anime, you hate Satoko? But you're not gonna say more? I haven't seen the most recent anime. Mostly because it's a continuation of this story, as I recall. I'm interested in seeing it though. No tips. No information, no tips. They're just like, fuck it, you know how things are going? You even got we got the aside inside the story. Satoko's an innocent girl. I mean, I'm gonna assume, since we haven't had Satoko actually murder someone, that if you say you hate Satoko, that she probably kills a bunch of people in that arc. I haven't seen it, but I mean, we've had Reina killing people, we've had Shion killing people, we've had Keiichi killing people. We haven't had Satoko killing anyone. She's caused some injuries, though. So, Satoko murdering people with her traps all over the place? Completely reasonable. We need the Satoko murder arc, after all. Gotta complete the collection. Oof. So, yeah, this is gonna be a disaster for somebody. Alright, let's see if I can push. We got a few minutes. I want to get in one scene in. I don't think we can get through this chapter. So they refused? Yes. I got a call from the local government section. The child center has no intention of listening to us. They're still trying to do what they can, but we don't have that much time. I even told them we have no time to spare. The mayor came to the school before noon to explain to us what went down with the officials. We all gathered in the teacher's office to meet with him. Wow. I don't know the head of the center personally. He's a pretty tough guy to go against the will of Hinamizawa. He used to work for the prefecture. He's not familiar with the council here. He's not treating this like it's a big deal. He's kind of stupid. This isn't any ordinary village he's up against. This is Hinamizawa. What a sad guy. We'll just have to fight him. I spoke with the other council members. We agreed we can't stay quiet anymore after all. We can't nod our heads in defeat and back down after I put our name out there. We'll be heading to the center after this ourselves. Okay. I'll get right on arranging for the council to send some people too. I'm about to go consult Oryu on how to handle this. This isn't like the damn conflict though. It's an ordinary Saturday. Isn't it going to be difficult to get people to go? Oh, don't worry, Keiichi. This isn't a city. People are out there farming every day of the week. Whether it's Saturday or Tuesday, it doesn't really matter to them. She's like, are you kidding? It's a farming village. Just finish your fucking chores and get out there. Like, how? She's like, bruh, like, we're a farming village. It's not that hard to raise crops. Come on, get real. like you put fertilizer in, and you know, once a week, I'm exaggerating stuff. It's hard work, but realistically, you know, raising crops is not a ton of work. Or at least it wasn't. You get more stuff to do now that people are like actually optimizing for wealth generation. But if you're like a really small village and you're not like using tons of machinery, there's not too much work to do. Like in the like 15th century and shit, raising, like, farming in the Middle Ages or even earlier is actually like a really easy job as far as jobs go, because all you have to do is just wait around a lot. Planting is hard, harvesting is hard, and then waiting is hilariously easy. It's not like they have fucking fertilizer. Or like actual fertilizer that they're gonna be like putting in the ground and weed killer. Those things don't exist. Anyway. I have no clue how local farming operates in Japan, but I assume it's very similar to Canada, so it's usually a full-time job. Easy. See, I tend to think of adults as people who work at big companies, but this is Hinamizawa. I almost forgot about that. The regular government offices usually close at noon on Saturdays, but the center's open until 3. Can we all be there at 1? I can't promise how many people I'll be able to bring them. Doesn't matter how many people we get, as long as we get people. Thanks for your help. I'm so glad there's more adult involvement. Yeah, this is gonna make a huge difference. Let's see, how many people do we get? The number of people we get will depend on what order you said. That's true. We'll see how serious she is about helping us based on how many people show up. If the hag's in as good a mood as my mother says, we might get about 30 people. From both the staff and the youth group. I think that's a fair guess. 30 adults? 10 children? Oh, it's better than yesterday. I'm coming too. I'll bring my megaphone. Yes! Your legendary megaphone. I thought it was broken. That's the one I used to have. The riot squad broke it. Ah, memories. I can feel the spirit of Onigafuchi making my blood boil. She did try to murder Keiichi. Satoko's an innocent girl. Well, she did try to murder Keiichi, but failed. Tried and failed. Better than never tried, though, right? Seems we're going to be holding a festival on the day before with Tanagashi too. To the consultation center. I wonder if they're going to tell us there's no evidence of this because she hasn't admitted to it yet. That's pretty likely. How are things on your end, Rika? Were you able to persuade Satoko to seek help? I do my best. It's all up to her now. I wish Satoko would stop being so stubborn. There's both times one should and shouldn't be stubborn. I can understand how Satoko must feel. Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Right, I want help. But we wouldn't be our real friends if we couldn't see how scared she is. I agree. It'd be easy if Satoko asked us for help, but it's too late if we wait for that to happen. If there's a child in the middle of a busy street, we pull her to the sidewalk before talking to her. Sometimes actions have to come before words. That's fair, Rika. Right? That's a good example, Rika. You don't tell someone you shouldn't be playing in the middle of a busy street. You get them off the street, right? It's a good example. We have to pull her back to the sidewalk first. Alright. Heard what's going on. Get back to the classroom and start homeroom. Go home and eat your lunches before you go to the center, okay? It's not good to skip meals. Joke's on you. You can eat when you're in. You can eat in front of the center. At that point, everyone was thinking there wouldn't be 30 adults there to support us. However, we were wrong. I had no idea how serious Hinamizawa can get. By the time I get there with my 10 classmates, the atmosphere around the library had completely disappeared. That quiet atmosphere is fucking gone. Oh my goodness. Are these all people from Hinamizawa? Not just Hinamizawa. I see some people from Okonomi too. You're right. Some of them are even here in their work uniforms. What an incredible sight. Looks like Oryu got serious. Apparently. This really is like old times. Oh, I miss the way I felt during the conflict. Okay, what's going on today? Hey, Kamina. Well, I called the whole village to come here. I thought you'd only get kids. How'd you get these adults here, too? You're making me weak in the knees, man. But there's so many working adults around. Little girls are mankind's greatest treasure. Of course, this many of our comrades would gather here. So it only had many people showed up, but many different kinds of people, too. I wonder how many people there are now. I think there's still over 100 so far. More people are still on their way. Oh, my Bara, sorry for being late. You've got quite the crowd here. So this is the power of owning the food. I heard about this power before. This is something else. This is reminding me more and more of the damn goblin. To get this many people to show up, Keiichi, you're amazing. You're the new face of Hinamizawa. Keiichi, there sure are a lot of them, eh? Kimiyoshi, how many people did you talk to? I don't know, we just used the phone list and asked people to gather for a meeting of the Guardians. Everyone left work and came right here. Hey, you there! This movement's an initiative of the town council. Don't use a banner with the name of the Guardians, okay? I see Keiichi's spot? Hello. Hello, Reina. Keiichi, I'm here to support you. Your mom wanted to come, but she had to stay home and wait for a phone call. She says, do your best and keep at it. I will, thanks. I heard stories about the conflict, but this is impressive. You're representing all these people, right? Yeah, I was only representing 5 of us in the beginning. It's got a little bit big now. I don't know if there's 100 or 1,000 people here. I guess I'll just do everything I can to save my friend. Keiichi, this is it? Yep, our force of arms is more than enough. These losers are peeping at us through the curtains now. They gotta be quaking in their boots, right? Sir, do you see all those people? What do we do? There's nothing to do. Other than our jobs, of course. If they want to protest, let them. I need to leave for a business trip, so you handle them. There's a banner that says we want to talk with the head of the office. See? The banner was the same one the Guardians used in the past. They brought along as many banners as they could reuse. The one that said the head of the office, it originally meant the head of the construction office. They're like, we just had these assets lying on. Of course, the head of the center didn't know about that. You spoke with 3 of those representatives the other day. According to the people from the city hall, these Inami-Zawans have a good memory. If they see you walking outside of the parking lot, they'll recognize you. Sir, there's people protesting by the back door, too. What do you mean? Are they gonna kidnap me or something? Well, it wasn't uncommon for people to get injured during the last conflict. If you postpone your trip, I'd recommend you do so. I guess that'd be it for the best. It's not an emergency. I'll just stay here for today. He's like, I don't need to go. In the next moment, the crackling noise of a speaker echoed outside. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Can y'all hear me? This is the Inami-Zawa Town Council. We're sorry for causing trouble in the neighborhood. Testing, testing. Yeah, we're sorry, quote unquote sorry. That is the least sorry I've heard in a while. They were adjusting the output of the speakers. A few trucks carrying the speakers were parked outside. The head of the consultation center finally realized, in that moment, what it meant to fight against the village of Inami-Zawa. There's so many people that they might barge in any minute. They come inside, they'll disturb our work. Don't let them in. It was half an hour past the appointed assembly time. The mayor told me there were a few more people still on their way. Even more people are showing up? Seriously? Reina counted all the people already and found there was more than 150. I doubt we can get this many to come back by Monday. Hopefully we can finish this today. Alright, Keiichi, let's begin. The mayor gave me the green light. He wanted us to chant our slogan in chorus before going inside. It really was like a real protest. Do you think all of us can fit inside this office? Do you think so? Of course, we can't all fit. We'll split into those who can go in and those spilling out. That's why we had everyone start chanting together before we go in. Sis, you can't break or kick anything today. Like I never do something like that. You got me in so much trouble and you pretended to be me doing all that. Isn't that Uishi? I didn't expect to see him here. Why wouldn't Uishi show up? Of course, he's my mahjong friend. That's your excuse? I was saying he's there because he's a cop and there's like 200 people gathered somewhere. The cops would just normally show up anyway. Unlawful gathering. Protest without a permit. He came here to support me, even though he's not from Minami-Zawa. My Bara, hello there. Uishi, you're here right on time. We're getting ready to go inside right now. Uishi was accompanied by a few of his own men, see? He brought along 4 officers in uniform. My Bara, I need to have a bit of a chat with you. Hello there, Mayor Kimiyoshi. Oh, hello, Uishi. What brings you here? Oh, I need to have a talk with the 2 of you right now, man. Oh, can it be in private, please? Hey, what do you need from us? Well, you're on government property here. Obstructing it for any given reason is prohibited. I was taken aback. I thought we were just getting started, but Uishi, and by that I mean the police, are telling me to break up the crowd. What do you mean? The government isn't going to listen to the voice of its citizens? Look, we're not doing anything wrong. We're here to ask them to help Satoko. Why is that such a bad thing? Well, you're protesting without permission. See? I said protesting without a permit! There's also a policy at this center which allows the caretaker to dismiss any client he feels they're disrupting their service. The caretaker of the building? Who's that? Well, that would be the head of the office here. Ah, cheap trick. You won't even let us speak our minds? Where are we supposed to protest then? If we gotta get off the property, can we do it across the road? If you want to use public roads, you have to get permission from the Public Safety Department. You'll have to contact them through the police. In other words, well, you have to disband for today. My bar. It seems they really do hate you. This is ridiculous. I can't believe it. We have so many people here in support of Satoko. And you're saying we can't even talk to them? My friends soon all came in running over, and we actually explained the situation to them. They reacted the same way I did. I said protesting without a permit is like the police will obviously show up for that. No way, that's horrible. No matter what we say to them, all they do is shut down the amount of people in the group. That's why we brought lots of people here today. They do have the right to refuse us. There's nothing we can do about that. We have to either listen to the police or disregard what they say entirely. Well, the conflict's been over for a while. I don't want to play that game anymore. Damn it, what are we gonna do then? We just gotta leave and come back later? Same thing will happen when we do. They'll just call the police again. The head of the center has no intention of letting us in there ever again. We must have really upset him. So what are we gonna do now? Well, we have to be patient. Can't protest with their property. We'll do it across the road. Seeing that every day is gonna put pressure on them. It'll take too long. Government is like the Yakuza. They'll get more complicated if we keep making them mad. Well, so the Guardians can't do anything about this? Pathetic. Can't you do something about this, Uncle? Shion, in a battle like this, you need to be patient. They're refusing us blatantly, so just like the construction office, we'll have to surround them and dig in for a prolonged fight. That's not going to work, though. There's so many people here. I was supposed to end this today. Satoko didn't come to school again today. Her uncle called and claimed her cold resurfaced. He promised she'd be back on Monday, but hearing that wasn't much of a relief for us. Today's Saturday, so there's 2 more days until then. Nothing's guaranteed for Satoko. In the world I imagined, it was too late to save Satoko the day before, but Tanagashi, I got a plan, dude. Okay, if they're not going to do anything, why don't you protest at his house? I mean, it's not. Think of it this way. It's not. It's a city. It's a city bylaw. It's a city bylaw, not a village bylaw. So you could, because they were willing and able to block the roads in Hinamizawa during the dam conflict, and they didn't need a permit because the permit was done through the set council, which was funding the protests. So they can protest outside Satoko's uncle's house, or / Satoko's house. The Satoko in real life hasn't gotten to that point yet, but nothing guarantees she'll be fine in 2 days. I don't know if she'll be sane the next time we see her. So this will be a stalemate. We have to wait until they make their final decision. No, Keiichi. We have no time to waste for Satoko. I know something bad's gonna happen. We got help from this many people, and we can't go inside the building. Rika said that with tears in her eyes. Damn it. I told Rika I could beat anything if I put my mind to it. You're just trying the same... Here's what he's doing. He's trying the same thing. He needs to change his strategy just a little bit. I don't want to give up here. Even a few days ago, we never imagined we'd get this many supporters. We got approval from the town council, and even from Mion's grandma. What else am I supposed to do? What can we do? Think. Come on, Keiichi. Is there something we haven't done yet? Son of a bitch. Come on. Rika, you don't have to look so sad. Me? We're doing everything we can. You believe that, right? I believe we did everything we can do. Then we'll have to wait for the wind to come. We just gotta wait. I'm sure a strong wind's on its way. What's that? Damn it. Alright. Come on, think. Satoko was sleeping like the dead. If he didn't send her to school, that annoying teacher might come to harass him again. He really wanted her to go to school today. However, no matter how much he forced her to wake up, she collapsed and went back to sleep. He touched her forehead and realized she did have a high fever. If he sent her to school like that, they might say something about that. He had no choice but to call the school and tell them she's sick again. Chie asked him many questions, but Teppei told her she really was sick this time. And an hour later, he realized he said something he shouldn't have said to the teacher. Ever since he took her in, there'd been nothing but trouble, and this teacher came to visit him the day after he took her. He received calls every so often, too. They were all from Child Consultation Center. Every single one of them told him to put Satoko on the phone. He was still certain Satoko wouldn't give him up because of the fear he'd destroy her room. However, he wasn't sure how long she'd keep her silence. And in short, Teppei had no idea whether or not Satoko would continue to do as she was told. Alright. The only thing he knew for certain was that he couldn't control her forever with fear. He could frighten her with a look, but that fear wouldn't last long enough. He wanted to leave the house before Satoko got him into trouble, but in order to do that, he needed to find the bank book. He was sleeping like an abandoned kitten inside a wrinkled blanket, sweating heavily and breathing deeply, both signs of a high fever. Teppei wasn't concerned in the least, of course. Instead, he felt this was his chance. In that state, she wouldn't notice if he went into Satoshi's room. He'd promised he wouldn't mess in there as long as she stayed obedient. But in reality, he went in while she was at school. He was very careful about putting things back in place. But by this point, he'd had enough. He was anxious to leave as soon as he could. Even Teppei could tell Satoko's fear wasn't from a cold, but emotional distress. If she got even sicker, it would cause even more trouble for him. He slowly crept up the stairs, headed for Satoshi's room. He tried to open the door slowly, but it was stuck on something. He assumed he'd hit the furniture with the door, but in the next moment, crash. He heard the noise of falling metal. Something had been stuck behind the door, and it knocked over something on the bookshelf. Teppei clicked his tongue. He'd been planning on sneaking into Satoshi's room while she was asleep, and shortly after that, he heard Satoko running up the stairs. She wasn't running because she heard a noise. She was running because she heard a noise from Satoshi's room, and that meant Teppei was trying to get inside it. Stop, don't go inside Andy's room. I was just going to take a look around for it. No luck. All I heard is some cash. I know there's a bank book inside his room. I know you hid it in there. Be a good girl. Tell me where it is. I don't know anything about a bank book. It's not inside Nini's room. Don't mess around in there. Leave it alone until he comes home. Crying for Nini. Shut the fuck up. Satoko let out a dull cry as she went rolling across the floor. Nini, Nini. Satoko's screams echoed around the room. Hitting her would leave a mark. And the child consultations center would harass him, and maybe more than that. As a man of violence, who calls himself a man of violence? I'm like, what is this? 21st century, as a man of violence. Like, what? It was already stressful enough to be warned not to hit her. But once he hit her on impulse, like he did, his restraint was all gone. She was crying and holding her left cheek. She might have suffered a cut on the inside when he punched her. She had bloody drool trickling out of the corner of her mouth. And she's still crying. Fucking hell, that did it. Sandra's gonna be back here this week. I'm gonna be in real shit if it's still swollen by then. God damn it. This is more trouble than it's worth. Quit with the Nini already. He's supposed to be a broken record or some shit. Can it, little bitch? He kicked her and she curled up on the floor. Nice guy, nice guy. Ever since Rina abandoned him, nothing good had happened at all. All he got was a whiny little girl, and all she can do is cook and clean. Other than that, she just acts scared all the time. So once Satoko started crying like an infant, Teppei also lost his mind. I said, shut up. Didn't you hear me? What are you wanting? Who are you wanting to? I was about to say, what are you wanting to? I'm like, that sentence just went. Hey, can you leave us alone for today? Satoko's in danger. Hey now, if you touch me, I can arrest you for obstructing the law. Damn it. Hey, stop it, Kitchen. He's just trying to piss you off. Yo, man, you don't live long with that kind of attitude. Oh no, I'm scared. You keep on talking to me like that, I'll arrest you for threatening an officer. Calm down, Keiichi. He's on our side. Wait, what? What are you saying, Reina? Can't you see? He's being nice to you right now. He's saying these things because he's a policeman, but I think he's still on your side. If he really wanted to make us leave, he wouldn't be talking to us like this. He'd simply use force. He's blocking our way right now, though. How can he be on our side? Wish, you got a call in the cruiser from the chief? Oh, thanks. Look, gotta go. Start vacating the area, please. If you take another step forward, I'll take it as a declaration of war. Got it memorized? Damn it, Uishi. Hello, Uishi here. Reading it loud and clear. Uishi, how's the situation there? Oh, it's fine. Everyone's perfectly reasonable. There's quite a lot of people, so it's taking time to break them up. Really? We're getting calls from the child center. They're wondering when you can get them out of there? Oh, they'll leave soon. I've already spoken to the leader. It's taken time for him to explain it to his people. If they call again, tell them to wait for a bit. I heard the Guardians are back in action, but it seems it's not getting too messy this time. Yes, the conflict's been over for a while. Give them a bit to pack up and leave. Uishi, how could you lie to him like that? You haven't made any progress. Well, was that really a lie? The chief warned us this could turn into a riot. I think we should call for help and shut it down before anything happens. Kuma, don't be mean. What? He's got this many people to help his friend. That's not a small feat, you know. The whole village is here, and that means he persuaded Oryu. It wouldn't be easy for a young boy like him to persuade the Empress. You think Oryu is backing this crowd? The girl they're trying to help is Satoko Hojo, daughter of the supporters. It's hard to believe the villagers could be trying to save her. There was a thick wall between them and the family, but he broke that wall down in just a few days? Actually, I've been following his progress up to this point. I saw him at their Watanagashi planning meeting. He's a damn courageous kid. The elders screamed and yelled at him and he wasn't scared at all. He magnificently brought them over to his side, and after that they told him they'd support him if he could persuade Oryu. Since he's here, he must have succeeded at doing that. He's gonna be someone big one day. Damn, it's hard to stop sometimes, you know? You should probably get close to him while you still can. Knew it. You were taking it easy today. You're normally very direct. I was surprised when you started negotiating with him. Well, I want to see him earn a little credit today. Uchi said something he shouldn't say as a policeman. Umaga had to struggle to understand what he meant. Giving Uishi a smile, he asked him a question. Do you want to leave without disbanding them? No, we don't need to treat them special. You don't know anything about the Guardians, you and my bar both. They're not as weak as you think, you'll see. You want to wait and see what they do? Well, as usual, we're doing a thankless job. Cigarette time? Uishi character development here is nice. Yeah, this is the first time he's done anything different. He's usually just manipulating people. This is the first arc where he's not just manipulated people to attack the Sonozakis or preyed on people's fears of them. Kinda nice. Thanks for pointing that out. I mean, it's like mostly started with good luck when he showed up in the gaming store, right? The guy accepted the offer, taking a cigarette from Uishi's hand. In the next moment, two black vehicles stopped short of the building, their brakes screaming under the stress. Here they come. Look closely, Kuma. Several men wearing well-tailored suits emerged from the vehicles. Some of them looked like muscle-headed gangsters, and some of them resembled intelligent businessmen. There was a clearly overbearing old man in a hakama with a crest, and what looked like a whole circle of Yakuza leaders arrived after him. Is Keiichi Maibara present? Where is he? I'm Keiichi Maibara. How may I help you? Don't worry, we're on your side. Who are you exactly? Oh, hey, Uncle. Why are you here? I can't believe they actually showed up. Shion and Mion's surprised reactions made me feel nervous. Keiichi, you're the leader here. There's no need to hesitate. Let's go. The group of men clapped me on the shoulders. I can't go. The police are here. All right, stop there, boys. I'm Uishi from the PD. Good afternoon. Where are y'all headed? Oh, who do you think you are? How could you stop law-abiding citizens from conducting a protest? Well, Sonozaki-sensei, we're here because the Child's Consultation Center called us here. Sonozaki-sensei? Is he a teacher from some school? No, wait, I don't have time to joke around. The man in a hakama must be the Sonozaki's representative on the prefectural assembly. I heard he's a really scary guy when he raises his voice like Mion's grandma. Shut up, get away, you damn pig. Who gave you orders to get in their way? The chief of police ordered us here. I can't disobey him, you know. Okinomi, a police chief? He's gonna hear some real complaints from me later. Tell him to be ready. Uishi's partner was doing his best not to laugh. Okay, I'll relay that message to him. Anyway, there's rules in this city. I like how a caretaker of a building can order people to vacate their property if he thinks they can cause trouble for his business. As Uishi explained that in a strange, half-troubled and half-delighted manner, one of the intelligent-looking guys started talking instead of the representative. Hello, I'm the attorney, Sonozaki from Sonozaki Law Consultancy Office. I went over the laws that apply to Child Consultation Center. Their claim is unjust and it could be considered an abuse of official authority. Here's a copy of the regulations. Furthermore, Keiichi Maibara is the appointed leader of the Hinamizawa Unified Council. This is the power of attorney issued by the council. The Hinamizawa Unified Council is a Good Samaritan organization of citizens formed under the observation of the Shishibone local government section. That makes him a proper representative of the organization, and he went through proper channels. Rejecting his appeal is a clear abuse of authority and violates the municipal public servant regulations. Therefore, the order made by the head of the Child Consultation Center is unlawful, and if the police continue to interfere with this movement... Okay, I understand. My apologies. Well, carry on, everyone. Yeah, in the other arc, he's your normal policeman. I wouldn't say he's like a complete bitch, because he's mostly just manipulating people to like go after the Sonozakis who he can't really touch, based on the evidence that mostly correlates with what we see in like the first few arcs. So I can't entirely blame him for doing that. I don't actually hate Uishi. He's kind of a fun character. He's like Sort of like your normal, slightly roguish cop that's near retirement. A decent character. He seems to be well written. This is the first time he's gotten any development, though, other than the throwaway line where it seemed like he might remember some of the previous arcs. So maybe he's trying new shit every arc, because he actually says explicitly in one of the arcs that it's like, this is the first time this has happened. It's like, this is the first time we've had this happen or something like that, after like I forget what the fuck happened. It was like really obviously hinting he might have remembered something. It's like when they started hinting at their memories in the previous arc, he's like, oh, this is the first time we've had the bomb threat. That's interesting. He's like, oh, He's like, oh, okay. I haven't seen this one play out before. All right. Like, oh, interesting. He's like, he's not even like particularly interested or surprised. He's just like, I haven't seen this rope before. Well, let's go, Keiichi. Okay, wait. You might be disrupting their business if everyone goes inside. Oh, don't worry. Only representatives are going inside. Is that even going to disrupt their business? With 4 couches in the visitors room, I assume they can hold 10 people in there. I guess you know better. Please go on ahead. Bro, let's go. Nobody's gonna stop us now. Yes, sir. Reina, Mion, Shion, Rika, we're going in. Yeah, let's go. Can't play. Yeah, exactly. I think Uishi is pretty blameless. Like, I know he does some like somewhat questionable stuff that like puts people in danger, but I think he's like it's entirely believable. It's entirely believable from his perspective that he should be doing some of this. Is this all part of Ori's plan? Probably. I didn't think she'd talk to these guys, too. Oh, no matter how you look at it, it's the family giving us the most support. I wonder what made the hag change her mind. I'm not surprised at all. I always believed me and Chan's grandma would help us. Really? I said some nasty things to her last night, but right now I could kiss her. Alright, everyone, we're going inside. The crowd cheers. The main event's about to begin. Ibara-san, please save Hojo. Help rescue Satoko. My hard boy, good luck. This is your show. We wish you luck. Angel War Grenadiers, secure the path of retreat. Support the charge. Okay, show us what you got. I will. I'll get him. Ibara, we'll wait for you here. We look forward to hearing the good news. Yes, bring good news. I'll be waiting for you too. I pumped my fist in the air in response to their high expectations. We entered the consultation center backed by the power of the Sonozaki family. I finally made it. It was cool inside the building, unlike the outside world. I could still hear the crowd, but at a lower volume. It was loud enough to hear their cheers. The staff in the building must have known who we were. They tried to concentrate on their work as if they didn't see us. Hello, sir. How may I help you today? I'm Keiichi Maipara. I'm here to request Satoko Hojo be put under protection immediately. Just go get the person in charge here. A representative of the Hinamizawa Town Council's here to see him. He's unable to see you at the time. I'll take a message for him. Hello, I'm a lawyer from Sonozaki Law Consultancy Office. For the purpose of its future use, I'll be recording our conversation from this point forward. We'd like to be treated responsibly by the Child Consultation Center. I will try and see if he's available. Please wait a moment. The confrontation spicing up, but I'm afraid it's getting quite late, guys. I really do have to stop. We're not going to finish this entire story. I mean, we're on chapter 7, right? Let me just check. We are at the end of chapter... We are midway through chapter 9. Or sorry, midway through chapter 10. And there are typically 12 plus chapters in this. We're going to have to call it quits here. I really don't want to stop, but I gotta.